And we're live. Evening all, and welcome back to Claret and Booze. Oh, what a rubbish week it's been. And I'll tell you what, if that transfer window wasn't enough of a letdown, we then had Moyes rubbing salt in our wounds with nonsense explanations before thanking each and every board member individually for being amazing in the window. Well, yeah, thanks. Thanks for what? But anyway, we've licked our wounds, and we're now looking forward to get back to the football. But before we do get back to the football, a short message from our good friend Danny Martinez, who pretty much summed up how I felt about the transfer window. Anyway, here we go. Go on, take it away, Dan.
Hey guys, Danny here. I just wanted to share my thoughts with you on how things played out for us West Ham fans at the end of the transfer window. Motherfucker!
Go Dolphins!
He nailed it.
Short and sweet, nice and good. Cheers for that, Dan. We're joined this week by our good mate Nigel Kahn. How are you, mate? You all good?
Yeah, warming up. Got the heater on and
You say?
a cup of tea. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's all good. I had a nice pie mash with Stelios earlier. Got him.
Lovely.
Where'd you go?
I got him to go Moorings. And
Lovely.
Stelios was in East London, was he?
yeah, he had to turn up. It's great. I don't want to say where it was, but he said Langdon. He said it was Bow, and I went, "Where's that?" He went Langdon Park. I went, "That's Poplar, mate."
That was Chris Street, yeah? Chris Street.
Yeah, Chris Street. I said, "You dress it up all you like, son. That's Poplar."
Did he have, did he have a backpack on? Did he have a backpack on like a tourist?
No, he had a duffel coat on though.
And salmon chinos, I bet.
I don't know actually. I didn't.
Did he enjoy it? Is that his first time having pie mash?
No, I think he's had it before. I'm not sure though. Actually, thinking back, he's a big liquor person.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But he didn't mind it in Moorings.
Sounds like Moyes being a bit of a liquor.
Yeah.
Oh,
You should say that.
dear. Here we go.
Anyway, John, how are you, mate? You all good?
I'm very good, mate. I've had a very good week. Trundling around the streets of London. Had my hair cut. Plenty of football.
Yeah, I can see that.
Plenty of, look good looking, don't I?
You
Plenty
do.
of football and plenty of honest chat with yours truly, Nicholas, which we'll go into later.
Indeed. Go easy on me.
I will.
And last but by no means least, Gary, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I've had a pretty average week, fair to middling sort of week. Nothing great, nothing. Basically my week has been punctuated by, how can I say, meltdowns from you. Every time David Moyes has opened his mouth this week, you've had a meltdown.
Yeah, I know, but do you know what? Whenever I think Nigel don't help because he keeps on sending me these little tidbits to set me off again on WhatsApp. I know what he's doing.
No. You go to bed angry. You wake up and go, I feel all right, actually. Now I'm thought about it. And then by 5 p.m, I've had a thought a minute. Wait a minute.
I'm officially West Ham bipolar. I know I am.
Oh, dear.
But anyway, look, moving swiftly on with the show. The agenda is as follows. So Gary's going to be kicking us off with 3 talking points. In the Claret and Booze news section, I'm sure you can guess the theme. There ain't really too much else to talk about at the minute. And then John is going to be mocking the footballing week before moving us on to a bit of a special section this week that we've named Cock of the Week. And there are quite a few candidates, as you can guess. And then we've got an interactive West Ham quiz where you can take on the reigning champion, the Shed Man. He's still unbeaten. We're using the Kahoot app, so if you want to take part, download the app. It's free, and I'll put the pin up later on. And then football's back. We move on to the FA Cup tie away at Kidderminster Harriers on Saturday. So that's about it for today's show. But that's Gary. Over to you. Do you want to kick us
just
off?
quickly run through some comments, Gal? Hello.
Go on, then.
Go on.
Someone's disappointed that Stell's not here and Nigel's arrived. Sorry, Nigel. No Stell. Not tonight. We've got Nigel. Good backup. Good evening to Joan. Good evening to Claire, as ever.
Hello, Claire.
Thought you were right, man. Evening, lads, from James. Evening from Neil, South Australia. Well done, Neil. Nice to see you.
Neil.
Kieran, good morning from Brisbane. Another Aussie. Oh, bloody hell.
Aussies left, right, and centre now.
Good time of day for them. A liquor in Moorings. What kind of show is this?
A green liquor.
Yeah.
And Garino, evening all, come on you irons. Father Jack's in the building. Is he
Here he
sober?
is.
We don't know. Hello, Michael.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Right.
All right, then, Gal, go on. Do you want to?
Yes, indeed. So, welcome to Claret and Booze News. It feels a long time since we last watched a game of football, and in a week dominated by the transfer window and its negativity, it fell upon Jim White from TalkSport to announce that he is definitely not a mouthpiece for the West Ham board. He then spent the next hour defending the board against angry West Ham fans. So, yeah, well done, Jim. Good point. Well made. On to news story number 1. Lick the hand that feeds you. So, on Monday night, we sat here for 3 hours talking about the inevitable lack of signings. It was frustrating. It seemed like a good opportunity missed. Personally, it felt like we'd been led up the garden path for at least the previous week. Moving on to Tuesday, most of us had got over it. We all knew that Moyes was a key reason why we didn't sign anyone. But end of the day, I personally thought it's his job. It's his neck on the line. So if he's not desperate, then I probably shouldn't be either. But then the video dropped. An official video from the club. A David Moyes interview. And if you haven't seen it, here's a brief summary of what happened. So first of all, he stated that we tried. He moved on to say we failed. Then he moved on to say we didn't need a striker after all because we have Bowen and he's a great backup. And then finally is the coup de grace was during this window where we achieved absolutely nothing. I'd like to say the board were absolutely fantastic. And then, as Nick said earlier, he called them all out individually. Sullivan, Gold, his new mate Daniel, and he absolutely gushing praise of Karen Brady, who must have done quite a lot while she was off on her overseas holiday to help him achieve nothing. So there was no need for Moyes to make this video, in my view. He should have just left it alone. Instead, he just poked at open wounds. I was already over it, and it just served to get me all annoyed again, let alone Nick. A pointless exercise to me in telling everyone that the board were not to blame, but hardly anyone was blaming them anyway. It just kind of diverted attention their way. So we're a few days on now, and I'm over it again. But let's talk about a couple of things and put the transfer window to bed once and for all, ignoring this silly video. So, and this is to you, Nigel, just 2 questions. Why did we fail in this window? And do you think it's going to have a significant impact on our season?
Did we fail?
Well, that question's to you.
I don't know if not signing anyone is a failure. It's I'm not one to. I choose words carefully now. I'm not one to. I don't think fans have a right to demand transfers. That's up to the manager to manage and control his playing staff as he sees fit. If in Moyes we trust is the mantra that we live and die by, then we have to trust in his decisions that he didn't find anyone that was available that would improve the first team. I think this is what he's saying. He don't want to bring people in to improve the bench. He wants to improve the first team. So I think we can all sort of agree with what he's saying there. I get that there's going to be people that think we're a bit light. Personally, I would have preferred, yes, another forward and another central defender. And I think realistically, it would have been possible to find, well, look, it would have been possible to find a backup to Antonio. Of course it would have, better than what we got, because we ain't got one.
Exactly.
But, you know, these things happen in football. Transfers, they're not easy to do. You know, there's the argument of due diligence, Dave, or dithering, Dave. I prefer due diligence, Dave. Dave, the thing is, we've come a long way in 2 years. You know, 2 years ago, we were fighting relegation. We've not had mid-table mediocrity, Dave. That's what we've not had.
Yeah.
We've had a geezer come in, save us from relegation, lose the job, 18 months later, come in, save us from relegation, and then took us into the top 7 of the league. You know, it's sort of unheralded, untrodden path for West Ham to have 2 seasons back to back in what they're having. So again, I still find it hard to get the I can't complain about the striking situation. You know, I put a thing up in the chat where outside of the top 6, we've created more chances and scored more goals than any other of the 14 teams that are not part of the top 6. So everything to me says that's progression going forward. So I'll trust in him. Rob Newman has just come in. I know he's been there since October, but you know, let him get time to find his feet with West Ham. But I could argue against that and say, well, the bloke's just spent 12 years at Man City. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So therefore, you know, if we start a new job and 4 months later things ain't going well, our bosses ain't going to be looking to go, oh, well, he's new and he's got to find his feet. They're like, no, we've hired you to do a job, mate, and you ain't done it. So I can see sort of both sides of the argument. I'm not blind to it, you know, and I certainly heard it, but I just prefer to see the better side and accept what's gone on. I agree with you wholeheartedly about the interview, but I think that comes from the media department of West Ham. I don't know why we question, why we make stuff like that, videos like that. I don't know why realistically they bother with a media department. The amount of money they must pay.
Well, I'll tell you what,
people.
I mean, the board gets accused of being detached from the fans. The media department are just as detached from the fan base, aren't they? They haven't got a clue.
Yeah, I think they cause a lot. But then again, a lot of that I think is stemmed from it's media people, isn't it? Not. I've always had a problem with a lot of people at the club. And, you know, believe me, I've been in SA, I was on the SAB for 5-6 years, Supporters Advisory Board from when it first started until we left Upton Park. Yeah. And then I appeared a couple of times at the London Stadium. And you get to meet the people that actually make the decisions that affect fans. And that's not Golden Sullivan, believe it or not. It's Brady and the people she's appointed. And they are not, half of them, I'd argue, weren't even football fans.
Yeah. The only thing I'd say about that, Nigel, is that they're media people, right? So they're not football fans per se, maybe. But if they're media people, all they need to do is look on social media to gauge the fan base. And I'm not saying they should have. I'm not saying they should not do something because of the fan base, but they should also realise what is going to rile the fan base. Because as Gary alluded to do that interview so soon after, and even to do it at all, in my mind, has misread a lot of the fan base. And I can understand people's even more heightened frustration at what is perceived, and as we've all sort of agreed, is a publicity stunt, as if we're idiots. Yeah. Oh, that's the only thing that bothers me.
It don't make the people like me that defend Moyes, it makes it a tougher job. You know, when they do that, what I'm saying, you know, I can sit there and defend Moyes, and they come out and do that. And, you know, and it's almost like, you know, there's a parody bloke on Twitter, and he does these videos where you got like a politician giving a speech, and it cuts to him in the back, and he's going, "Don't forget, you got to mention this." And then it pans back to the bloke, and then the bloke mentions it, and it was almost like there was someone in David Moyes' ears going, "Don't forget to thank Karen Brady. Don't forget Karen, because she gets the right ump." I like to thank Karen, especially Karen Brady. Karen Brady, who's in the Maldives on GMTV, in January, she was promoting The Apprentice, giving an interview, and it says live from the Maldives. Well, what transfer business is she? How is she working for West Ham live from the Maldives? And you don't go there for a 4 or 5 day holiday, do you?
No. No. It's all you need to know, Nigel. She was working really hard.
Therefore, the thing about that is, and that's where the media people are blind or really think we're stupid. Do you think we're not? Do you think people are not going to notice that and go, well, hold up a minute, what's she done?
Yeah.
You know, David Gold, bless him, he hasn't been well. Yeah? And this is the thing. What's he done? Well, he ain't. He don't even run the club. David Gold's a figurehead, isn't he? At the end of the day. Yeah. And I'm not saying you shouldn't sit there, but to actually make sure, tick list, you know, the only one he forgot to thank was Trip Smith. You know?
Yeah, because he must have made a wonderful contribution as well. I would
he's
imagine.
sitting there going, "Well, what about my 10% then?" You know, so
Where's my free publicity
yeah,
for
where's
Christ's
my,
sake?
so it was just horrendous. And again, I put that down to. I think you're right. I don't think you have to be a West Ham fan to it, but I think you're right. Probably you're right there, John. They've not read the room, have they? And what it is they've not got an understanding. And this is the thing: it's media people. We're media people, and they probably don't have an understanding about how barking mad some fans are.
But
would have thought that
it's not barking mad though. I don't think that's fair. I don't because look, I don't. Yeah, I don't think it's barking mad for people to have wanted to get players in. I don't think it makes us entitled. In this situation, for me, we weren't asking for much. We weren't asking for Lionel Messi or Haaland. We just wanted. We're kind of the team have done so well. Moyes has done so well for a second season running. We all know you can't paper over the cracks and say, well, did we really need players? Yes, we did need players. If we get 1 or 2 injuries in the next game, it's going to screw us. Look at what losing a couple of defenders did to us. It's kind of we can't. Well, it did, Nigel. We was good. We are where we are. Like that stat that you put up about the best of the rest. The majority of those stats has come from that first part of the season. It has from the first part of the season because up to November, from November onwards, ever since we lost Ogbonna, we lost Zuma, and then we had that spell out with Cresswell. Our form ain't been great. Our football's not been great. We've gone stale for a couple, but we were so good in that first part of the season.
Well, you say that. Look, we can all argue with stats because if we pull up the last 5 games, we've won 3, lost 2. Yeah,
but if you pull up the last 12, we've played more games than anyone around us, and we are.
Well, let's pull up then the last 23 then. How far back? Do you see what I'm saying about stats? When you start going about stats, I am disappointed with it. I am. For me.
We had to say it correctly, right? We had a bit of a blip in early December. Then we came good towards the end of December. Then we had a bit of a blip again.
And November, Gary, November as well.
Yeah, but that was all when it was injury led, wasn't it? It was when we lost Cresswell and Ogbonna and Zuma.
But that's what we're saying. But that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but 2 of those are back now, aren't they?
Yeah. So look, let's just wrap this one up. So I think Nigel, in answer to the question, you're saying you don't think it was necessarily a failure. It was just
one of them things.
We could have done better. But will it have a significant?
Gary, what's your opinion? Give me your opinion.
I think we did fail.
Yeah,
because I think because I think you've got a month and you've got a head of recruitment and you've got a manager and you've got money to spend and you've got all those players out there. Surely we could have found at least a backup centre half and backup striker to sign in 31 days. I mean, that's my opinion. And will it have a significant impact on the season? I think probably not in real terms, because I'm talking about the backups, right? I'm not talking about necessarily buying that Núñez as the new number 1 striker. I'm talking about giving us a little bit more strength in depth.
It's like we said before. Like with where he came out and he said, we only want to buy players who are better than the same. We don't just want to get players in. Well, I'm sorry. What was Dawson at centre back? If he weren't
paying? What
was Crow in central midfield as a lone midfielder to cover for Rice and Souček? He weren't brought in to replace Rice and Souček. So what was Vlasic? Vlasic was brought in because we didn't have Lingard. Expensive padding. So what has he got against that striking position? Why can't we just get a backup? He's bought 5 strikers in his entire managerial career. One of them is Jordan Hugill. He's got something
against career at West Ham, or
he hasn't. No, he hasn't, Nick. He's signed loads of strikers. I had that list the other week. I'll dig it out. So hold that. Don't labour.
Well, I blame the West Ham way for that because I listened to the West Ham way. That was X.
Don't labour that point. But I'm going to dig out my slide.
Sorry, was Nick? So you were saying, or you've heard that David Moyes in his total management career that started at Preston.
5.
He's only signed 5 strikers.
That must be West Ham, Nick. That must be West Ham or something, Nick.
He hasn't signed 5 at West Ham.
He signed 1 for West Ham.
No, I know.
He signed 1 for West Ham.
I'm going to dig out the slide.
It was James Beattie. They read off the names. James Beattie. He typically does not sign strikers.
Kevin Campbell.
Yeah.
Did he have him at Everton? Did he sign him?
I don't know if he was Everton a long time. So Everton had some strikers in their time. So he was there a long time. I mean, they had Radzinski. I mean, Jeffers come through the ranks, didn't he?
Rooney. He's
must have
talking
brought-
about
he
people
must
that he
have brought a
signed,
couple.
though. People that he signed.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of who he had at Everton to sign.
No, I'll tell you what. I've got all of the data from.
Sorry. Someone's put in the thing. 5 players over 5 million. He spent 5 strikers over 5 million.
Okay, that's a different.
Yeah,
thing.
that doesn't really.
But he's been a manager so long, you know, that you was only paying when he first started managing. You wouldn't be paying that for a striker, would you?
No, but what I'm saying to you, Nigel, is what he said is in my opinion, he's already proved in his actions previously, already as a West Ham manager, that when he needs cover in other positions, he'll go out and he'll get it. But then he gives that excuse that I won't bring a striker in because he ain't better than what I've got. Well, Dawson weren't better than what he had. Crowell weren't better than what he had.
No, but Yeah, but when he brought Dawson in, he needed padding, didn't he? What I'm saying is,
we need padding now.
Yeah, but what he's doing is, and I can this thing. What he's doing is, he's looking and he's thinking, who's my best option? And he's thinking Bowen.
Oh,
well, no, but this is the thing. You can see what he's saying is, why have I got someone to come in and do better than Bowen?
Right.
He's had a look. No,
it's not that, Nigel. If you move Bowen up front, Bowen can do a good job up front. But then you lose Bowen in his strongest position is Yarmolenko as good as Bowen on the right hand side.
Listen, I'm going to go through transfer market, right? And I'm going to read out the centre forwards that he's signed: Andy Johnson, Jordan Ugill. We can forgive him that one. James Beattie, right? Centre forward John Athas. I don't know who that was when he was in the Spanish side. I think centre forward Nikola Jelavic. You remember him? Let's go on to the next page. There are 10 pages of players that he's signed it. James McFadden, centre forward David Healy. He's signed loads of attacking midfielders.
Brian McBride.
There is not loads of strikers, though, Gal. There's not.
Well, I've just read a load out, and I'm only on page 2 of like 10 or more, right?
James McFadden ain't a striker.
Apostolos Velios, that's another striker that he signed. Centre forward Lucas Djukovic. He signed quite a few. Richard Cresswell.
Who was he signing these for?
Marcus
Preston, Richard Cresswell, isn't it?
Sunderland.
I mean, he has signed quite a few. I mean, to say I'm just saying the point that he's only signed 5. I think is BS.
Well, I mean, he's been managing.
Wrong, but
he's been managing 25 years now.
Yeah. He has signed. I'm just wondering if I can list this report as just forwards, but I don't think I can. But anyway, look. So look, to close it off, what do you think, Nick? The 2 questions. Do you think have we failed? Do you think it's a significant impact?
100% for me, we've failed, and like I say, yes, we've failed, and the impacts that I'm concerned about isn't just this season. I think it's the following season because he's got to do even more now in the summer window. You're going to go on to another story later on, which I won't touch on now. But the fact is, it isn't the damage to this season that I'm worried about. We were, John said, this window, all right, it weren't make or break. We weren't fighting relegation. But what this window was, this was a rare chance for West Ham when you've got Aston Villa spending like bastards, Newcastle spending like bastards who are going to be strong next year. This was a rare chance for us to push on and grab an opportunity. We don't know when that's going to come round again. I don't think. And I don't think they've done all they can to push us through. What they've done is they've rolled the dice. It feels like he's so relaxed, like he's not that bothered. If we get an injury, we get an injury. We're okay. We'll do as well as we can. He doesn't look that bothered.
I did hear something. Before I go to you, John, I did hear one thing on a podcast that I listened to. I can't remember which one it was, but this guy came up with a really interesting point. And what he said was he might be a little bit tentative to make the big signings because ahead of making the big signings, there's going to be no judgment. We're going to be grateful for what he does, right? As soon as he makes the big signings and starts spending big, that ups the ante, right? And then you expect return on the investment. So it increases the pressure on the manager. And I thought that was a really interesting point. I don't know how true it is.
The most important pressure on that manager is going to be from the fans ultimately. Yeah. It is. And the thing is, if it doesn't go very well for the next month, say, I don't think it will. I think we're going to be okay. I'm going to be honest. If we don't get injuries, we're a good team still. We are. We're going to be okay. But all it will take is 1 or 2 injuries. And I think if you, I've showed you the fixture list the other day. We're okay in February. We're okay in March. April, bastard month.
Yeah,
that's the bit. That's the big month. There's a lot of games in April.
So, John, let's hear your comments to close this one off, and then go through a few comments after that. Yeah, you there, John?
John,
hello,
John. Can you hear us?
What's your comment? Is it a failure, and is it going to have an impact?
I think it's a failure within
Oh, you're breaking up, mate.
His broadband's going all wonky again, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. He's settled down a lot, John, but he's not going to be as extreme as me. But he's back now. Go on, John. Sorry, mate. We lost you for a minute.
So, answer the question again, John, because we lost you.
Yeah, no worries. I don't think it was unreasonable for people to think that fans would have expected a couple of players coming in. As Nick said, we weren't looking for, when we was linked to the £50 million players, I was in my head thinking, we don't need them sort of players. Yeah. I'd rather go and got 3 or 4 players at 15 million each or something, if that was ever going to be the amount of money we was going to spend. But I think that for me, the couple of players that we needed, padding, as you called it, were just to solidify, not even to push on. I'm not saying for top 4, but just to have options. And like Nigel even adhered to, even in the striking department, even as a centre-back department, I wasn't expecting big names. And if it's true, the players that we were linked with, for example, Claret and Booze Up, 15 million, to me, that should have been easy money for us to just go and get him for that amount of money. That was peanuts, but I'm not going to go over that anymore. But for me now, the problem is with the striking department, my concern is that Antonio's being hung out to dry to some extent. Probably, obviously, not on purpose, but that's what's going to happen as a direct result of not having support to help him, basically, or come off the bench and give him that rest that we know he needs. I'm a little bit worried about that side of things. I'm more concerned for individual players rather than if it'll have an impact on their season or not, because for me now, and I know we're going to go on to it in a minute, there's other priorities probably, Yeah,
no, I agree with you. And honestly, and Nigel, I know you agree with this as well. I think that Claret and Booze Up, that was the difference between offering 15 million and paying 18 million, right? And that is potentially a very, very good player who could have lasted us for several years. And it feels cheap. It feels cheap that we just walked away from him. He's a proven player.
I'd have paid 20 for it. At the end of the day, Ogbonna, we're saying it's 50-50 he'll play again, let alone, he's supposed to be progressing well, but from what I've been told, he's progressing well, but he won't be reappearing this season. They will extend his contract as long as everything's okay.
Yeah.
That's the last official thing.
Have we not extended his contract? I thought we offered to do it anyway.
I didn't think we had either.
I think that is dependent on him being able to play.
Yeah, I didn't think we had either.
Okay. So what's the situation with Marseille, right? Because now they're on a transfer ban, so we can't get Claret and Booze Up in the summer even if we wanted to, right?
Normally the transfer ban,
they can sell, they can't buy.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So, John, do you want to go through a few comments before we go on to the next?
Yeah, I'll go through some comments based on what we just spoke about there. So Pam says, Moisey was right. He'd rather spend nothing than bring in someone who would come to nothing like Haller or Yarmolenko. Don't go there with him.
Yeah, but the thing is, we don't argue with that, Pam. But what I'm saying is Moyes going out and saying, we only want to bring players in that are going to improve the team. He's not reinventing player procurement. Every team operate the same. It doesn't paper over the fact that he failed to identify players that were feasible to bring in that could improve the team and bring them in. So that was a failure in itself, the fact, because there's a lot of players out there. So, yes, he's right. You don't just bring anyone in, but then maybe they should have done a little bit more work and a little bit more preparation, identifying players that were feasible to bring in that could help us. And he didn't do that, in my opinion.
Yeah. So we've got Kieran. Kieran says, if we tried to sign someone and didn't, surely that's a foul. I suppose in black and white terms it is, within reason, isn't it? Pam says, why should we be held to ransom by clubs upping their price?
I don't think in the case of Claret and Booze Up, I don't think they were. They were just, it's just Marseille wanting market value and we weren't prepared to pay it.
Didn't they just what they were asking for from the start? They had their price, didn't they? And they stuck to it.
And they said if we'd have hit that price, they'd have sold.
Yeah.
Nigel, this one might be more for you, Nigel. You know him more than us. Sean Whetstone suggested the other day that cash flow was the reason the club were asking for money for Europa League tickets in advance. How did we make bids for players if cash flow is a problem?
Yeah. How do we make bids for players if cash flow is a problem? You've got the day-to-day running of the club, and then transfers are actually paid off over normally the lifetimes of the contracts. So there'll be a book that runs in, and you'll have money coming in, money going out. Premier League money, I believe, is paid twice a year, or 3 times max. So you get a payment at a certain point, and then another payment at another point. And then with that, and what you got to remember is this is the reason why the clubs have the people call it the payday loan. In fact, I swear I blame Sean for calling it that, where we have these media right people that loan the club money. At the moment, it's Michael Dell's company, MG something D Finance, MDF Finance.
Sorry, you're talking about my employer there.
Sorry about that. No, their loan, they've given the club, like, I think up to 120 million. Now, and this is the thing, people go, oh, we've took 120 million. No, we ain't. We got the ability to draw against 120 million, and you only pay interest. So you pay like 2 million to set up the arrangement, and then you'll pay interest at like 5 or 7% on the money that you take. If you don't take the 120 million, you only pay it on the 90 million perhaps that you take.
Is it like if you've got the ability to do that, it's like releasing equity in a property almost?
Yeah. So what happens there is that just as a standard practice, West Ham will offer as collateral if they don't pay it back, have to offer something hard, which is, the leases on Rush Green, Chadwell, and that's when people go, oh, they're mortgaging off all the land, we've got everything. That's just a standard thing. You're going to pay it back because of the Premier League money. So but they can't sort of sign it off against, because it's not a physical thing, the Premier League money. So they front that up. Now, with the financing, if West Ham can get money in off the fans, it just saves them having to do a drawdown, because at the end of the day, they've still got to pay people's wages monthly. There's a lot of people that work for the club. All that has to be ticked over.
This is like I was saying the other day to Sean when he was on the transfer show, right? I said, it makes perfect sense from a business perspective. No one's arguing that. But it makes terrible sense when you're talking about treating your fans well.
Yeah.
And that's the line they walk. And they always come down on the wrong side of the line, don't they?
Definitely. In 12 years, they've never... but again, that goes back to what I said earlier. The people... And I don't blame Golden Sullivan for this. This is why Brady out. I started saying it years and years ago, because it's her that runs she's the figurehead that runs the club day to day, that affects us. We complain more about things that she's in charge of than what the others are
running.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, Nige, you can't deny she was marvellous in the transfer window.
But going back to that point, Nige, when you're talking about the media team, surely like David Moyes can look at what they've given him in terms of a script and go, look, seriously, you're hanging me out to dry.
I was disappointed that Moyes did it. Now I understand. I understand he's a manager and he works for the club, right? I get that he's employed, but he doesn't. Does he have to do everything they say?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Surely he could say, "Come on, I don't need to say this because it's going to rile a lot of the fan base." That's what disappointed me.
I think you're absolutely right, because he could have said it, but not said it. You know what I mean? He could have said it in a completely different way that would have been. See, in a way, it's like he's not very aware of what's going on either. You know what I mean? It's like he doesn't read the room either. He just follows. If I was asked to do that personally, I would have delivered the message, but I would have delivered it in a much more subtle way.
I'm going to quote a famous philosopher, Ronan Keating. You say it best when you say nothing at all.
Yes, indeed. That's all we needed this week, because it wouldn't have helped. It wouldn't have helped anything, And the thing is, again, do you remember when we had Whetstone on the show, Nigel? He said exactly that. He said that Moyes was going to come out with.
Yeah, well, we knew it was. That's the thing. The thing we all miss when we criticise Moyes and everything. Why does he have to do it? Why didn't he say no? Is the relationship that he had with the owners. He was friends with the owners before he joined the club.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't treat him very well first time round.
No, but then again, he signed a contract that was for 6 months long. Yeah, with no undertaking that he would get the job if he stayed up. And you know, I think there's a lot to it of that. He defends the owners. If you listen, there's a lot of twisting and turning, and he will always defend the owners. He'll come out and say, "I've got money." Yeah, everybody's sitting there. Oh, they won't get their finger out the pocket. Yeah. I've got money. Now, what I've been told today, and I don't know if he's watching, so he'll text me if he's watching and fucking said, you shouldn't have said that. But anyway, is that the West Ham had about 40 to 50 million pound in the kitty. Yeah. And the rest, anything over that was going to be supplied by Daniel Krasinski. But guess what? Go on. That would have been an interest-bearing director's loan.
No.
But that's the same for them all, though. Do you know? Apparently,
and then, this is the thing. See, people was looking at Krasinski and going, "He's our saviour." You know, can't wait for him to buy the club.
Nigel,
guess what, people? He's just like them.
I know, but Nigel, isn't it
business people? That's it.
But Nigel, isn't it the same for Abramovich? The money that he's put in he ain't put
no,
his own money.
No, it's not. No,
he wrote way and above.
He wrote off. Nick, he wrote off $1 billion quid. $1 billion quid.
So we're basically just gone and got a younger fucking Sullivan then. Brilliant.
Well, look. I mean,
no, but that's business. And at the end of the day, Nick, and this is the thing. Let's say, for instance, I'll pluck a figure out of the air that I haven't been told is 3%. Yeah. Just purely pick that out of the air. Look at that. There you go. 3%. That's cheaper than Michael Dell, which turns out to be Nick's boss. He's lending us money at. Yeah.
He's not my boss. He's my great grand boss, I think.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. Yeah. But anyway, it's still cheaper than what if we draw down on that money. Yeah. So if we draw down that money, we've got to pay like 7 or 9%. So if Dan lends it to us for 3%, as an example, then using a great David Gold analogy, then we're saving money.
I have nothing against them earning a little bit of money at the club. I think it's childish to say they shouldn't earn any money at the club because, you know, frankly, if I own the club, I'd want to get a little bit of return out of it as well. I don't know about you. You want a little bit of return on your investment.
It depends how rich you are. I reckon if you were a multi-billionaire,
if you didn't need a return, you wouldn't take a return. But I'm just saying, I think they're protecting, especially like gold and stuff. They're protecting the inheritance for their family and everything else. I think they are.
The difference with Gold and Sullivan, and I think it is the difference, is that when you walk into the club and proclaim yourself.
That's the problem.
442 Green Street. We are supporters of this club. We have loved this club. Even when we were at Birmingham City, when we relegated you in 2003 with Steve Bruce in charge, we still love this club. Yeah.
No, that was the biggie. That's the big difference. And if Daniel Krasinski comes in, he's not coming in off the back of. I've always supported this club and loved this club, and I lived at 442 Green Street, lived in abject poverty, and used to bunk in, for free during games.
But if you fucking bunk in, I'm going to ban you for life from the stadium.
There's another comment here from Neil. Moyes is working on a project for long-term success, and I would say we're well ahead, but not as far ahead as some fans think we should be. That's what Nigel said earlier, and I do agree with that.
That is right. Look, he is ahead of the curve. He's ahead of schedule, but you know what? It is possible to take 1 step forward and 3 steps back. It is possible to do that.
Yeah,
and
it is. But
is that a problem, though? It will be a problem. You go 4 steps forward the next year.
Yeah, but what I mean is, Nigel, it will be a problem if we go from. It will. You know what the dynamic of the West Ham fan base is. You know for a fact if we drop from 6th place and all of a sudden we're mid-table and we're not doing nothing, all of a sudden it won't go well for him with the fans. Generally, it won't. It'll be poison.
So let's put this one to bed. Right, we're 40 minutes in. First news story done. Let's move on to the second news story. Another cheerful one. Right.
Got my blood pressure up again, Gary.
I know.
Claire noticed that.
Another potential ramification of not being successful in the transfer window is that we've not met Declan Rice's high expectations. Apparently, he's been telling close friends that he's off in the summer, with many news sources saying it is now inevitable, citing West Ham's lack of ambition as the main reason. Personally, I don't think it is the reason. I expected him to go in the summer anyway, and so going out of your way just to try and appease or please a single player who's likely to leave anyway would, in my opinion, be a little bit foolish. So I'm not sure I buy the story because there's no way West Ham could match the ambitions of a world-class player like Deck anyway. He must see himself winning leagues, playing in the Champions League, all that good stuff that his best mate Mason does. And I don't blame him for that. Ambition should be admired. But to blame West Ham's lack of ambition as his main reason for leaving would be, to me, a little bit disingenuous. Yeah. We all love Deck and we'd love him to stay forever, but that's football these days, and players do not stay at one club for their whole career. We've just got to accept that. It's horrible, but we've got to accept it. Even Ronaldo, who was like the idol at Man United, decided he engineered a move to Real, and he didn't come back until just before retirement. So to me, Deck leaving us is just inevitable. It will happen. The only question is when. So this question goes to you, John.
Yeah.
There's a couple of questions, right? Will he be gone in the summer? And is there anything West Ham could do to keep Deck? And secondly, hypothetically, what should life after Deck look like? Big questions.
I thought I'm going to cry already. Firstly, if like people are suggesting that he's going to leave in the summer, that those negotiations would have started far long ago before the transfer window even opened. So what I'm saying is, if negotiations have already started to take place with him, his agent, and any potential buyers, then no matter what we would have done in January transfer window, would have kept him. Yeah, let's be honest about that. There's no way that what we do in this transfer window, and we couldn't have, in order to match any of the teams that he's potentially going to go to, how much money would we have had to have spent, firstly? So it's ridiculous to think that our lack of ambition in January has possibly made him make a decision that he might leave us in the summer. I, for one, and I'm sure you all agree, he's by far the best player in our team by a country mile. He's the best at his job in the Premier League, in my opinion, without a shadow of a doubt. And this is all at the age of, what, 23?
22,
yeah.
I think. Is
22?
he 23 now?
He's 23 now, only just.
23, yeah. He's played over 130 games for the club. He's Mr. Ever Present generally, plays every minute, captain fantastic, taken over the captain's armbands in Noble's absence, water off a duck's back. And for such a young man, it speaks volumes for him as a professional, and he's an ultimate professional. If we lose him, which we will, and my head says one thing, my heart says another. And I was listening to Talk Sport all week, and you've got various different pundits on there. And I agreed with Paul Merson in so much as Paul Merson said along the lines of that Rice's progression is 100 times, obviously exaggerating, but 100 times the progression that we would have expected by now. Yeah. We will never be able to replace a Declan Rice. West Ham will never, in my opinion, be able to go and buy somebody that ready suited for our club and to be on the level of Declan Rice. You can't. We couldn't afford that person, right? Let's be honest about it. So the only hope we're ever going to have of having someone again like Declan Rice is coming through the youth system. Yes, we know a lot of his time in the youth system was spent at Chelsea, but we took him on when they got rid of him. If he leaves in the summer, I will be disappointed, not in him, but I'll be disappointed as a West Ham fan. I understand it from a purely professional perspective, what he is. It's his job at the end of the day. And like anybody, we all look for better opportunities. We've all moved up in our careers. Well, I haven't, but you three have moved up in your careers. As time goes on, you get better offers. You're going to take it, right? Life without Rice will be tough, yeah? And it will be a big hole. As I said, you can't replace him. It's going to be a big hole. We know that. But you can't begrudge him. I honestly think he'll give us one more season. I truly think at the age of 23, if he gives us one more season, he doesn't have to, but the amount he can achieve, not in terms of trophies, but even how much more can he come on in another season of being the main man at a club?
I think the one thing is, I think that's a really great point, John, and I would love to see him just stay one more year. I think that would, for me, if he stayed another year, that would solidify, no matter who he goes to after that, I would support the kid forever. I think that would secure his legend status, his West Ham legend. He's already a legend, but that would put him right up there if he stayed another year. I wonder though, in order to keep him, what would we need to do? Because he would clearly need to sign a new contract because he's not getting paid in comparison to some of the top earners. So, Mike Brennan, Father Jack's point, pay him 200 grand a week, win the Europa League and qualify for Champions League. Hypothetically, if that happened, if we won the Europa League and qualified for Champions League, and then we put a 200 grand a week contract on the table, would he sign it or would he still be willing? Would he still want to go?
I genuinely think with him, it's easy to say it's not about money when they're earning what they're earning, but the way he comes across to me, and I might be completely wrong, right? And I get that, but I'm not sure. I think he seems like a guy who comes across as somebody who does want to win things. He wants to have a career to look back on, and he's going to get paid well wherever he goes. We know that. That comes with the territory of being one of the best in the Premier League, if not the world. No, we're not going to offer him that money to keep him.
I honestly think if there was a chance to keep him for that money and we were in the Champions League, we would be fucking idiots not to pay it. What do you think, Nigel?
It's always a balancing act, and it ain't the fact that when you pay Declan Rice, is it too much money? It's Declan Rice on 200 grand a week. He's going to get that somewhere. Yeah. So why can't we do it? In theory, we can. It's the uplift. Yeah. It's the uplift of everybody else.
Yeah.
Because when you pay Declan Rice, when you pay someone 200 grand a week, the bloke that's half the player now wants 100 grand a week. Yeah.
Yeah.
So sort of, and I'll use a story. I sort of laughed. I laughed when Jesse Lingard got put on 100 grand a week at Man United. And what happened is this was about 4 or 5 years ago. He got put on 100 grand a week at Man United. And I thought, that's bonkers. And then it came out, he was on 30 grand a week. Wayne Rooney was on 300 grand a week. Now, how can a player in the same team earn 10% of the wages of someone else in the same team when football's a team sport? Rooney has to have Lingard or someone of that ilk in the team because he couldn't do it on his own. And that's the thing where West Ham can't cope with paying everyone big wages. What I would like to think is that the rest of the squad would sort of understand. I think the problem is we've got such a great team spirit at the moment.
Yeah.
That the loss of Declan will affect that more than anything else.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's the loss of the team spirit. And what it is that we start playing without him, and there'll be people there going, I ain't the same without Deck, innit? And it ain't much about the football, the way he plays the football, but he's around. You can see, you know, what he brings to the club, his personality-wise, and the way the players all love him and feed off of him, and he gives it back. He's such a nice bloke. When you listen, we've all watched the Gary Neville interview. You know, you look to where he come from. You know, people say to me, "Oh, Surrey." I looked at it and thought, Jesus Christ, he could have been walking around Dagenham. You know,
it's a few miles down
he
the road.
Loved.
Yeah.
You could see the love he had for that area. You know, the geezer went past on a motorbike. Oh, well, mate, that's round here, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, and it was, you know, and then you think, no, that, you know, that is someone whose feet are on the ground and you want to keep at the club. Now, I don't know if he's watching. Declan Rice, Moyes has said today that, you know, he thought 100 million was cheap.
It is. In my opinion,
it is. And you had your chance to get him for 100 million. You didn't take it. So let's see what happens. Can we get Moyes? We've got Rice on contract, haven't we? I think for another 2.5 years. Yeah. So at the end of this season, he is peak financial value, and now's the different balance. Because if he still says no, now he goes into the last 2 years of his contract. The peak financial value is on the downward slide.
Yes.
Right, okay,
So now you've got to find balancing act, because what happens is when he gets to the end, and if he has one more year but don't sign his contract, forget about £150 million with him. Yeah, because he's got a year left on his contract and people ain't going to pay it.
Absolutely.
And that is
and that's why I think he's going to go in the summer. That's why I've always thought he's going to go in the summer. Either he signs a new contract or he goes in the summer. That's tough. Nick, what do you think?
I think it goes back to the first point where we were saying, did we foul in the window? And I know you may well say, yeah, he was going to leave anyway. We haven't even given him anything to think about now. We've got no bargaining chips. If we actually haven't, so you can say we haven't even tried. So if this season goes south, Moyes has 0 bargaining chips. We haven't even tried. And that's why I said making the most of this season was important, because do you know what? At least we could have given him something to think about. Whereas now, in my opinion, if heaven forbid something happens, we get an injury, we peter out to 8th place, we bail out of the 6th. And you might go, 8th place is still great. Well, yeah, but it's not good enough to keep Rice. And we've all just accepted that losing Declan Rice is bad. And in my opinion, in my opinion, that is why it's such a failure. I haven't got the ump for this season. I'm thinking ahead to next season. I am worried about losing Declan Rice. He's everything that Nigel just said. He's more than a player. He's a leader. He's a character. He's everything else. And in my opinion, like I just say, if this season does go to shit, we've just given Declan Rice an absolute perfect excuse to walk away. And it's a valid excuse because we've shown no fucking ambition in that window.
I agree. But the only thing is Nick, is that what caliber of player would we have had to have brought in to persuade him to go?
But it's not even that, John. Just to bring in no. What I'm saying is, John, to bring, but yeah, all right, fair enough. But just to bring in a couple of players just to help us push on, to sign no one and do what Moyes has done.
Agree.
There's people saying Moyes is building for a long-term project. Well, Declan Rice ain't going to sit around for 5 years for David Moyes to build slowly and look for 3 years for a striker. No one's going to sit around and wait for that. They're not.
I go back to what I said in the piece at the beginning, though, and that is, and John's sort of saying it as well. I don't think we had enough money in the budget to match his ambition. I think signing a couple of players, like maybe our 3rd or 4th choice, we ended up on that Nunez guy.
But Gary, we haven't even bought anyone or even tried.
Listen, I get it.
We haven't even tried, so this is an empty argument because to say, we couldn't have gone out and bought a player that would have.
I think we did have the money, Gal. To be fair, I think the money was there.
Yeah, we hadn't even fucking tried. We haven't, and going out and putting these bids in at the end, scattergunning like we've done, and that is why it is upsetting. Because as Nigel said, you've identified why I'm not thinking about this season, Nigel. I'm thinking beyond that. I'm thinking I'm thinking ahead, and I don't want to lose him. With all due respect, I'm looking forward to the end of this season, but I'm thinking of beyond, because do you know what? It could very much be with, like you said, enjoy the ride. It could be we're fucking at the top of the ride. And we're about to come down.
That's why I try and say to people, enjoy it, because I don't know if I can allay your fears, but I'm a great history person, and this reminds me of the last time I can think of us having this problem was with Paul Allen.
Right.
Paul Allen broke through. You Gary will remember. Paul Allen broke through at 17. He played in the FA Cup final. Fantastic for us. And actually was Player of the Year 1985 at the age of 22. Was head and shoulders carrying that team. He had Liverpool after him. He had some of the best clubs in Europe, I think, were looking at him.
Yeah.
And he finally had enough of West Ham's ambition and whatever and moved to Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah. Now imagine the kick in the teeth that was to lose Paul Allen in 1985.
Remember it well.
Yeah. What happened the next season?
Well, we nearly won the league.
That great a loss then, was it?
Yeah.
Positive spin again.
Sometimes you may, by hook or by crook, foster a greater team spirit from those left behind. I don't know. I don't know.
My issue is, Nigel, right? If we had now, after this window and the previous window, it's like we've all said, let's get 150 million from him. That's what he's worth. Moyes could get 500 fucking million for Rice. He wouldn't spend it. And that is my concern. He wouldn't fucking spend it. So what
No,
difference does it
I'm
make
not
to
going to
us
argue
fans
with you
how
there.
much money we get for Rice?
I
Because he
think
ain't
what-
going to spend it.
Yeah, I think like some of the when you look at it actually, and I think this is you might have a
Might as
thing
well let him
there
go for
because
10 pence.
I'm going to go and look at Nick's transfer market thing at the players. I've never thought about looking at the players more as a sen because you're thinking, who has he bought for big money? Because it technically now he ain't spent 60 million or 50 million, so that automatically goes forward. Yeah,
Hardly
so
anyone,
now,
Nigel. Hardly anyone.
Without selling any players, his budget should be £100 million in the summer without any player sales.
The only time he spent big ever in his whole career was at Man United. He bought Juan Mata.
Oh, no. He bought Juan Mata, but the first person he bought was Fellaini. He bought Fellaini.
And a few others. Yeah. I'm just saying. It's reflective of where he was. He was at Man United, so he had a bigger budget, and signing Juan Mata for that money at the time wasn't considered a big signing for Man United.
Signing, to be honest.
No, I'm talking about Fellaini, not Mata.
Yeah, but what I mean is though, Nigel, that's not ambitious for a club like Man United or a brand.
No,
we're trying to, they need to go out and buy names who are going to sell shirts. That's that's to a degree.
Oh, you're right, Nick. Ambitious for Man United at the time would have been 150 million signing, and he never did that, right? He never did 100 million or 150 million.
He won't even do a 10 million striker for us. But you know what? But what I will say, listen, what I will say, and this is what I don't get as well, because I think Rice has been so important. Moyes has been brilliant. What he's done has been borderline. It's miraculous. The backroom staff that he's brought in, even the under 23s are looking better. They're coming through. But you know what? Make no bones about it. That the first team success, it all coincides with the rise of Rice. We've got a superhuman midfielder in that team. No, we have, and you've got.
I agree.
Yeah, you've got a superhuman player in that team who, and he has been pivotal to our success. He really has. And do you know what? You've got to have players with stardust. When Jesse Lingard came in, he transformed us last year because we was going a bit stale, and he came in, he freshened it all up, he changed the way that we played. And do you know what? Buying people like Vlasic for 30 million or whatever it was, you might as well go out and spend fucking 50 million on a top player. You might as well, rather than buying Ben Rama and Vlasic for 25 and 30 million each. Go out and buy a star player, someone who can actually make a difference to the team. Fair enough. We could sell Declan Rice for 150 million. Moyes could go out and buy 5 Moyes players. Yeah, but they ain't going to replace Declan Rice.
I think you're right, but I also think football is it's kind of doesn't operate in a straight line of progression. You know what I mean? It kind of can be.
It could have a bit of ambition, Gary.
No, but it can be an exponential curve rather than a linear curve. You know what I mean? Yeah. It can be either a straight line of progression or it can just go off a cliff like it did with Lingard. And no one knows what that magic formula is and what that ingredient's going to. Like Nigel said earlier about Paul Allen leaving, one of the greatest players we've had, young players we've had, prospects that we've had, and we did better after he left.
But what happened after 85? What happened after 85, 86? So.
Oh no, it turned to shit. We nearly got relegated.
I'll tell you what happened, Nick. John Long didn't buy anyone decent,
Oh no, here we go.
Well, that was a typical.
And he lost his job in '89 after we got relegated.
That was a typical West Ham of never building on success, like we didn't do after the last season at the Bowling. Like you could say we haven't done this season either. Even though we have a little bit, we have not completely abandoned it. We haven't done what we did after we left the Bowling. When we left the Bowling and we had Payet, we bought all those fucking half-price odd-mark players, didn't we? Right? We padded the squad out because we had the Europa League. Yeah, exactly. We haven't done that this time, have we? We haven't done that this time. We bought a couple of very good players like Zuma. Who else did we buy in the summer? We bought Zuma, we bought Areola, we loaned him.
We got Vlasic. Zuma was a good signing. I think Zuma was a good signing.
Areola will be made permanent, and I expect that will be.
I don't think he will. From what I've read, apparently there's no obligation to buy with him. And
that stems from an old idiot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Talking too much. Yeah, not the really old one, but the less old one. Yeah, bearing in mind that the day West Ham signed him, they announced on their website and on Twitter with an option to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it turns out that ain't true, right?
Well, no, we think it is true. We think West Ham Twitter and West Ham website got it right.
So the
And
media department got it wrong.
perhaps the senior
that would be
source,
surprising, wouldn't it?
perhaps the senior source had been on the sauce too much, or had been doinking his new bird, and he got it wrong.
Doinking his new bird.
Right,
We
so
quickly go through some of the comments.
go through some comments.
Yeah, right. We've got Garino. I want to know how journalists know what Declan Rice said to his close friends.
It's the Telegraph. That bloke is it? Oh, he ain't Matt Lawless, is it? Matt Lawless, the guy. He's got a as a relationship with Rice's dad apparently,
Right,
who is his agent. Yeah,
So
he's the one who broke the story about Declan Rice not signing 2 contracts last year.
So Michael Brennan said, depends if we get the money to spend on Rice or GSB pocket it.
Well,
sorry,
Mike.
Mike.
Ain't even that, Mike, is it? We can give Moyes as much money as you want.
Hang on, no, it's not GSB anymore. It's GSBK. Nigel said this the other day. It's GSB.
And I'll tell you the funny thing here. GSB have not pocketed ever any transfer money from any players.
I know.
Ever.
Is all they've taken, literally, what they've taken is some interest on loans. That's what they've taken out of the club, isn't it?
And they'll take some immense profit when they do.
I mean, I ain't singing their praises or being a ball lover or anything, but that is literally the net sum of what they've taken out of the club is that. Plus, obviously, the shareholder value. The shareholder value is, their shares are worth a damn sight more than when they went in. But that could be seen as a business achievement, right?
At the end of the day, if they sold the club, if they did sell the club now, the story is they paid 50 million. It was never fully revealed how much they paid for it. The official thing was they paid 50 million for a 50% stake on. But the anomaly that people miss out is that when Trip Smith bought the club, he put money into it. So what he paid to buy his share, he then loaned to the club.
Yeah.
There's a good chance of what Gold and Sullivan paid for their 50%, they then put into the club as cash flow. Yeah. Sullivan then and Old bought it round. But generally,
Smith still there, Nigel.
Yeah, he's still there. Trip Smith is still there. I think you're looking at the Harris family because the dad had died, and I don't know if there was death duty. And this is the thing, death duties and everything involved in it, and it was sell up. So
right, we've got. So Rob says he'd like Rice to stay after the World Cup. I think we all would, I suppose.
Yeah.
Pam says, I'm one for loyalty. My employer trained me for my job. I wouldn't thank him by leaving. Declan's been taught by our captain, Noble, legend. Well, Nigel agrees. He bashes the badge every time. Yeah, but he doesn't mean he doesn't like. He loves the club. He bashes the badge, but he's got his career.
Can I quickly answer that, Pam? Because I did my apprenticeship. And the first thing I did after 2 years was have it on my toes because I was always told, right? I was always told.
That's you dodgy CCTV people.
That your employer that trained you will never truly value you until you've gone.
No, that's what I did as well, right? When I was doing a technical job years ago. When I was doing a technical job years ago, there was a certain accreditation that was needed, and it was very valued out there, right? And so I used the company I was with to get the accreditation. Then I went and joined the bank and got paid some decent money.
Everyone does the same thing, Gary. That's the thing. But we all look at these footballers like they're different. They're not. I mean, they're not. It is a job for them. But apart from anything else, you know what? I do believe that Declan Rice has got an affection for West Ham. I do believe
as well.
But ultimately, the reason he is as good. You don't get as good as Declan Rice unless you are ambitious and driven. He's ambitious. He is, and you know what? We have got no right or no. If he decides to move on in the summer, we can't even fucking question it because he never ever don't turn up. He never don't turn up. He's brilliant, and we have not matched his ambition, and that's what annoys me so much because I won't be able to moan when he fucks off in the summer.
Listen, I just think that there are a lot of these players who go to massive clubs, right, and they end up being just one.
Ain't gonna be Declan Rice.
Hang on a minute. Let me say what I'm saying. They end up being just one massive name in a pool of massive names, right? So they're just one of a number of great players. Whereas at West Ham, Declan Rice is head and shoulders. He is our superstar, the same as Payet was our superstar, right? If Payet had stayed for several years, he'd have taken over Di Canio's mantle probably as being a great.
But Gary, if your ambition is to be a big fish in a small pond, you never get to the top.
No, but what I'm saying is, we're not a tiny little club. We're a well-supported club, a very well-supported club. We're not on the same scale globally as Man United and Liverpool and teams like that, but we're not little Mickey Mouse club. We're a decent club, and it's a difference between going to a club like, let's pick a club. Let's go City, right? Say he goes City and he has several years as a good player in amongst a bunch of very good players. No one's going to pick out Declan Rice as the superstar, the one that everyone should remember. I think personally, if he stays here for another year, he'll go down, in my eyes at least, as a little bit of a legend, right? And he will always be able to show his face at West Ham.
As Nigel said, he ain't
compare it with Scott Parker. Scott Parker, 3 consecutive Hammer of the Year winners, right? He was a fucking legend. Then he pissed off to Spurs, and everyone had no time for him, right? Because as soon as times got a little bit hard, he had it on his toes because he wanted that last year with England. I would love to see him stay one more year because we all know he can go for the money now, and he can. I would
love to see him stay one more year, but the fact is, right? He's got, as Nigel said, in the summer, he's got 2 years left on his contract. If he stays one more year, at the end of that year, he's got 1 year left. You ain't got no bargaining chips.
He can be a legend for life with us.
Yeah, but what I mean is,
like Rio.
But then Gary, he's into his last 12 months. We ain't going to get no money for him.
Like Rio, there's plenty of time for Declan. He's young. He can go and win pots. He can win Champions League. What I mean is, Gary,
if he stays with us for one more year, at the end of that year, he's got 1 year left on his contract.
I know he needs to sign a contract this summer, otherwise he goes. I know that, right? He needs to sign a deal, right? He needs to sign a deal with an exit price of an exit clause of, say, 150 million, and then he needs to stay another year. And if he does that, for me, he will go down. He's a legend already for me. No, a couple of years don't buy him legend status in my eyes, but if he stayed one more year, it would.
I think he is already, Gal.
He's a legend for me, Gary. He's amazing.
What do you think, Nige? I know legendary status is bandied about very quickly, and we've had some discussion.
He's carried us for 2 years.
I think he's on the verge. I'll tell you how I'll finish this conversation so you can move on. Yeah,
go on.
Yeah.
Paul Allen was a big fish at West Ham. He'd won record amount of England youth caps at the time. Yeah. He was then knocking on the door at the age of 21, 22 of full England. He hadn't quite made it into the full England team. He joined Spurs and disappeared into a midfield of Ardiles, Hoddle, and then they signed Waddle as well. Yeah, and then they brought in Gascoigne. Yeah, a few years. Paul Allen never got a sniff of England again. If he'd have stayed at West Ham,
player at Spurs, really, I think.
Yeah, he disappeared.
Yeah.
And the same should have happened with Stuart Slater a couple of years later. He should have been a legend for many years with us. But that is exactly what I said with Scott Parker. As soon as Scott Parker left and went to Spurs, a lot of people, most people said, "Oh fuck, yeah, I know it was at the end and everything."
I didn't feel like that about Scott Parker when he left. I really
we'd already signed Kevin Nolan.
Ambivalent towards him. I didn't really care. I didn't really care.
I didn't feel about Scott Parker the way I felt about Rice. Put it that way.
Yeah.
No, in terms of, I wasn't angry when he went Spurs per se. I didn't.
No. But I think, as Gary said, I was a little bit. He was a brilliant player, but I never had any sort of. I never had any. I don't know. Not affection.
But Paul Allen, I love Paul Allen, and when he went and joined Spurs, that really got up my nose.
Yeah,
and then I never took any interest in him at all after that. I don't know about you, Nigel, but I didn't.
No, people. Listen, he went to Spurs. He ended up at Southampton. And even played for Millwall. That's how his career sunk.
Tony Cotty ended up with Millwall.
Right, a few more comments then, John. Let's go for a few more comments and then we move on to the third one.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was a little bit taken aback there. Hang on. Sorry. It's
because these comments are good and we keep finding things to talk about. That's the problem.
I know. It's well done, everyone. Yeah. Fantastic. You've got more knowledge than us lot. Deck's also not dumb. He will be looking at Grealish as a cautionary tale of careful what you wish for. Going to Man United or City, it's not the same as being the big fish. Yeah, you just basically confirm what Nigel said, really. So, that's very true. This is what I was going to say, Nick, about bargaining chips. I'm sick of hearing about Jesse Lingard, but did you think there's any bargaining chips that could be brought in the summer that might keep him?
I'm just saying. I don't know. What I'm saying is, if he's got his mind set on leaving, say he has, Okay. What I'm saying is we had an opportunity in the next 5 months to change that by being ambitious and bringing players in. I don't think if his mind is set on leaving, I think he's going. Yeah. Personally, I think he's going to go.
I reckon Phillips's price is 70 million, right?
Yeah, easily, and that's what I mean.
It's 70 million. And so, if what Sean said the other night, say, 50, 60 million for Souček to go to Dortmund or Munich, right? Invest that money, 70 million, 60 to 70 million in Phillips, bring him in to be Declan Rice's partner. I wonder if that would convince him.
I'll tell you a funny thing today, though, on that story. I heard that Souček's about to be offered a new contract.
Yeah, I know, but they won't stop him from leaving in the summer, though. They won't stop him from leaving.
That'll just increase his price.
We've got another comment about what you do with your money if you do sell that sort of player. Liverpool sold Coutinho at his best for 145 million. And with that money, they built the team that won the league and the Champions League. But the difference is Klopp spends money.
Klopp spends money. That's the difference.
The same with the Spurs team that ended up qualifying for the Champions League year after year. That all came from
Bale
money.
Yeah, but they didn't spend that way initially. Well, they got
not initially. Not initially. The players came good over a period of years.
Yeah, they got a few other.
Who's paid? Someone's paid this geezer some money. Fellas, I've been watching all the West Ham fan channels. This is by far the best. Proper knowledge and opinions from yourself.
Good
Thank
man,
you, Stuart.
Fivers in the post. Where else are we? We have to see Moyes playing the kids now, Sonny Perkins, etc. That will give more faith in his plan.
Yeah. I'd like to see Okoflex, for instance.
Yeah, I think
I'm really excited by Okoflex. I'll be really disappointed if he turns out.
Hang on, look who's turned up. Look, Stell's
late again.
I don't think Stell's late. I think you're being harsh on him. I think he lives on Central European time.
He wasn't meant to be here at any particular time. Nick just calls him late all the time.
He was late with a pie mash. Not that I'm going to dig you out, mate. I didn't say anything at the time, but I was there and you weren't.
Look, maybe signing Mason Mount will keep him. Yeah, maybe that will keep him.
Yeah.
That's the point. Why don't we bid for Mason Mount instead of us selling Rice?
Yeah, let's be
and that's the thing. Why don't we
go
out?
What's Mason Mount's market value, do you reckon?
No.
If Rice is 150, Mount's 100.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Gary,
Mason
he's
Mount's
English for a start. As soon as
Gary, do you know who I would like to see? If we were going to, if I could pick players off post Rice, if you could say, right, give me two players, Phillips and Conor Gallagher. That would be two players for me that I would bring in. Gallagher for me, he's top class.
Yeah.
You would imagine he's available because they keep loaning him out.
I think that's a good call, Nick. I think that's a good call. Still wants to see the rage, Nick. He wants to see the rage.
Let's sell Declan for 130 million. Moyes will buy 3 players and give the ball 100 million back. Cue the Nick.
He will. Thing is, you know what? The thing is about Stell is, right? Stell's passive aggressive about Moyes. Because he says back the manager, you know, in Moyes we trust. But then he knows he divers. He knows he divers. He gets just as frustrated as anyone else.
I'm sorry. Let's go back to pie and mash, right? So, Nige, tell us what happened. Was it double pie, double mash each, triple pie, triple mash?
I reckon Stell had 1 and 1. He looks like a 1 and 1.
No, Stell had to pick the bill up because the job took me 4 minutes instead of the 2 minutes I thought it would.
Yeah.
So that he wanted me to do. It literally was that long. So still picked the bill up. So I went easy, 2 and 1. I had.
How about Stell?
What, 2 pies, 1 mash?
Yes, mate. Yeah, come on.
That's good. What did Stell have?
I think he had the same. But still will answer.
Did he take his own cutlery? You
know what? I watched him, right, and he did worry me because he brought the cutlery over, and I watched, and he picked the knives out first. And I'm thinking, if you don't bring me a spoon, I'll stab you with a knife.
I'll tell you what.
But he did pick the spoon up and bring the spoon.
Knives have no place on a pie and mash.
They didn't get used.
Every time.
But he did enjoy it, and he don't like the green crap, but he did enjoy it. He did eat
it. But it must have taken him ages to eat pie and mash and liquor with an oyster spoon, though. It must have taken him ages.
Didn't you give him the Cockney test? Didn't you give him some jelly deals?
No, I don't want to push it that far.
I bet on the train back he was like, "All right, governor," talking all Cockney and on the way on.
Well, to be fair, we went down to Bowling and had a beer.
Nice.
Nice.
And I dropped him back at Canary Wharf. I didn't want to drop him at Canning Town in case he felt a bit like too ethnic London.
Yeah.
Canary Wharf's
Too
more
rough,
his sort of
yeah,
daft,
Canary
yeah,
Wharf's
yeah.
more his. Yeah.
Right, let's move on to news story number 3. So, attacking the cups. The last 2 weeks have given the vast majority of our players a much-needed winter break. Michail Antonio's hamstrings aside, we saw Saeed Benrahma arrive back from the African nations just before the break. We saw Kurt Zouma and Aaron Cresswell re-establish themselves in the first team. I've heard Moyes say, in fact, I think he said this today, that having Zouma and Benrahma available is like having 2 new signings. He said that, Nick. When you look at our schedule from here on in, it's relatively gentle with 1 league game a week, no COVID backlog to clear up, just the knockout rounds of the Europa League and the FA Cup, adding a few more games to the schedule. So you could argue that the hard work in terms of volume is largely done as we come to the business end of the season. By the way, on Antonio's hamstrings, they appear to be in one piece, which is more that can be said for Jamaica, who sits 7th out of 8 teams with 3 games to play. Maybe Mickey will give the next. Maybe Mickey will give the next 3 games a swerve. Let's hope so. So look, our schedule starts quite busy with 3 games in a week, and then it settles down. So we've got Watford next Tuesday, and so should we be playing with a full strength team away to Kidderminster tomorrow? This is not team selector. We'll do that later. But Nick, this is a question for you. Should we prioritise the cups over the league from now to the end of the season? Over to you.
Okay. Right. Well, my initial reaction after my tantrum, many tantrums with the transfer window, was to fuck the league off and go at the cups. But then, still at the back of my mind, I'm thinking about the following season. I'm thinking about attracting players. I don't think an FA Cup win, as amazing as it would be for me, I've never seen it in my lifetime. I'd love to see us lift the cup. I'm thinking about long term. I would love that. I still think that in a position that we're in at the moment, I'd like to see us kind of push on and try and do as well as we can in the league and in Europe. And I'm not saying sacrifice the cup. In another season, Nige, where we was mid-table and we weren't doing anything, I'd say, yeah, bang, go for the cup, go for it. But I just think in the situation that we're in, where we've got to rebuild next year, I think it's going to be easier to rebuild if we're in a European place and we've got European football. It gives us more bargaining chips. I think we're flogging the dead horse trying to keep the likes of Declan Rice. But it does give us more bargaining chips if we do maintain our status in that sort of league position. If we was to fall off a cliff and end up finishing, it sounds stupid, doesn't it? Fall off a cliff and end up finishing 8th and 10th. But from where we was, after 12 games, which was comfortably in 4th, we was probably I think we was the second form team in the league behind Man City. But it's completely dipped in the last few months. But I still don't think it's over. As you said, like Nigel and John, we've got players back now. We could have done with being freshened up, but look, we don't know what's going to happen. Vlasic, Vlasic could come good. He could come good. We could have an Oko Flex come in, or someone like that to give us a bit of a spark, like to give us something a little bit different. And yes, would I sacrifice the league? I think what Gary's saying is, would I sacrifice the league for the cups? Only once the league is out of the question. So I wouldn't sacrifice top 6. I think top 6 is going to be important. Don't get me wrong. When it comes to the European games, I want to give that our all. But would I now sacrifice at our current stage? Would I sacrifice? It's like I was saying to you about Kidderminster. I'm thinking about Watford. I'm thinking about Watford, and that isn't because I don't want to win the FA Cup. I've never seen us win a cup. I would love that. It would mean the world to me. But it would be a one-season thing. It would just be a one-season thing.
Yeah.
And I know it's really hard, but I don't know. So I've settled down a little bit. I'm just thinking about recruitment in the summer. Look how difficult he's found it to convince people in this window. We're in the last 16 of the Europa. We've got a world-class player in central midfield. He had money to burn by the sound of it. And he still couldn't convince anyone to come in. That's not going to be made easier.
I think you got to specify. Hold up, and I will butt in and pick you up on that.
Well,
I don't think he had trouble convincing people to come and play for us. I think he had trouble convincing the clubs that they were playing for to sell them to us.
Yeah.
There's a little bit
I
of
think there is a difference.
Okay. All right. Well, and also him paying the money as well, Nigel, because going back to that, because we just said there, right, Declan Rice, he might be £100 million player to the rest of the world, but to us, he's £150 million player. What David Moyes has got to understand is that when you're going out trying to buy someone's best player, you're going to have to pay more than the market value, probably. You are. To get them out of their team, you're going to have to pay what their club value them. So we might not think that Rafinha is a 50, 60 million pound player. But to get a player like that in, you're probably going to have to pay that to get him over the line, because they've got to go out and replace him, and you're going to leave a big hole in their team. Yeah. But getting back to the original point, I would love to go for the Cups full on, but while we're still challenging in the league, don't get me wrong, if we fucking lose against Watford and we start dropping away, then bang, go for fuck the league off. If it looks like we ain't going to get anywhere near top 6, focus on the Cups. But if we're still there, or thereabouts, I don't know. For me, I just think there's status in being high up in the league, getting that European
place. What though?
Well, to help us. Look, players care, John.
Yeah, but if we won the Europa League, would we not then qualify for Champions League next year?
But what's going to be harder, winning the Europa League or getting 6? What's going to be harder?
What's going to be harder?
Yeah, to do.
Finishing 6.
Yeah. I don't know.
Reckon?
I don't know with that, really. I mean, there's some big teams left in Europa, though, Nigel, if they get through that game.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, we've only got to face 4 more teams.
True.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that's all we've got to face.
Over two legs.
Well, the 4th team we haven't, it's in Seville. Yeah. We'll all be there. Yeah. Don't worry.
And we get the advantage in the first game.
We've won the FA Cup, we can all celebrate. We can all have a street party.
Honestly, it would be the best day of my life to win the FA Cup. It would be, it would go, because for me, like the 15, 16, the last game at Upton Park, I'll remember that forever. It was an amazing day, and I could imagine it's going to be nothing like winning the cup. But to win the FA Cup, it would be an amazing day. But would I don't know, and I probably would choose it if you gave me the option. I said, right, Nick, I'll give you the FA Cup, but you're going to finish that side the top 6. I would take the FA Cup. Yeah, but do I think it would have a negative impact on us getting players in the summer? Yeah, it would.
You're looking at it from a future point of view.
I am.
Which is fine. I get that, and I'm not having a go at you for that. Believe me, I understand. You're looking at it from a progression in terms of who you can attract. I get that.
Yeah.
But from a purely emotional fan perspective,
I would love it.
2005, when we lost to Liverpool in the final, we lost that final, but that still goes down in many people's eyes as one of the best games of their lives, and we lost.
It was a
Can
great
you
day.
Imagine if we would have won it?
We didn't lose. We just lost the
we
penalty
didn't lose,
shootout.
Technically, technically we didn't win the cup.
We didn't lose the game. We just didn't lift the cup.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's how I
It was a great day. It just didn't end very well.
Can you imagine if we would have won it? How we would have felt?
Listen, for 90 minutes, I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Gary was the same.
I loved it, Nigel. I never thought that magic of the FA Cup existed anymore, and it did.
Do you know?
Do you know what made it better? What made it better? And do you know what made it better? And I'll tell you what. It wouldn't have been a special at Wembley. Cardiff did it amazing.
Amazing.
It
was my nephew's 15th birthday. Yeah. And we're sitting there, and I said we're going into the ground, and we'd done the other 2 Cardiff games as well, Palace and Preston. I said this time we're going in at 1:30, 2:00. We lit the build up, and I said to him, look, when we lose, you watch Liverpool lift the FA Cup. I said, because you may never be in person again, see there inside the stadium, see someone lift the FA Cup. And I'll tell you, one of the proudest moments was watching near enough every West Ham fan who a man stay there. Yeah. When you look at the FA Cup now and you see them lifting it to an half-empty stadium, and all the other fans are gone, we showed what we were. And
we wanted to suck up every second of it.
We didn't stay long. But we saw Gerrard lift it. And
did you see what Gerrard did?
And what Gerrard did, him disrespecting that FA Cup and fucking chucking it over his head.
Hold
and
up,
the
hold
lid
up.
flew
I'll tell
off.
you what Gerrard did, yeah? He lifted
Yeah.
the cup, yeah? And he gave it, and they all had a thing. And then I'll tell you this now, I hope they had it on film because I watched it in the ground. Jamie Carragher went to walk to the Liverpool fans. Gerrard stopped him and went, "No, we go West Ham first."
Oh, that's nice of him.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he pulled him and went, no. And they brought the cup to the West Ham fans first, then walked it around behind the goal. And then I was on the side by the Liverpool fans in front of us.
I didn't know that. We'd already left. Me and Nick, we saw him. We waited for him to lift the cup, and then we fucked off. We went straight. We went straight.
But you know, as good as a West Ham, you saying there, you know, we sucked up every minute of that. Do you know what?
Yeah.
What made that special as well is the Liverpool fans played an equal part in that. That was a special day. They were.
Oh, no,
that was two brilliantly supported teams.
No, I think you're right, Nick. And Cardiff was on fire that day.
Yeah.
You know, you had
mixed
Cardiff
fans as well. There was no trouble, was there?
Cardiff, West Ham.
After the game, I was drinking with Liverpool fans.
Just a really happy atmosphere. And the thing I'll always remember as well about that day is that the amount of West Ham fans who came down there just to be in Cardiff and they didn't even have a ticket.
I know.
My mate did that, and as the bloke was walking out the pub, he said, "You're not coming to the game." They said, "No, I'm watching it in here, mate." And the geezer went, "Oh, I've got a spare." My mate got a ticket. He couldn't believe it.
Brilliant. But I'll tell you what, I see why they do it now, because you're next to the stadium. Watching it on telly next to the stadium is almost as good as being inside the stadium, right? It ain't bad, is it?
Well, you watch. We go Seville, mate. You know,
you're
going to be lucky to get.
Got to do that. We've got
20,
to do that.
If we get to Seville, I would definitely do that, Nigel. I would definitely do that.
I don't care whether I'll get a ticket or not, mate.
Yeah,
I will
same
be there.
Will we not get one now? We're media people.
Might do. You never know. Might do.
I'll tell you what, right?
I
we need
don't know
to
the
do,
right people, John, and you don't know the right people.
We need to work on our. We need to work on our Karen Brady pitch, Nick. We need to work on our Karen Brady pitch.
Yeah, I think ticket or not, we're going to go to Seville. We're going to go.
I'll
to Seville.
go over. Yeah, I'll come over. We'll go over there.
No, let's do some plating of the board. Let's do some and see if we can get a ticket. Let's do that.
Brady out.
Nigel could have Brady.
If you want me to be nice, it'd be like Brady tits out. And that's about as nice as you can.
Well, I'll tell you what, John has got a very fetching photo of Karen Brady later on, haven't you, John?
Oh yeah, you're gonna love it.
I'll tell you what.
I think that's a fake one.
I've never found somebody in a Birmingham City kit look attractive before. But she actually looks quite attractive. Yeah.
So what are you saying, Nigel? What are we saying? Go for the cups?
Walkabout, indeed.
Cups, mate. I'd say the thing is, I'd go down and go for the cups. You know, you talk about man, people go, let's go. I'm like, I would happily do a Wigan.
I'll tell you what, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go down.
No, I don't want to go down. I've had that day out, and this is the thing. I get it. Nick's thinking of the future. Brilliant. I'll tell you what the future is, Nick. We'll be mid-table in 5 years' time. It will happen, believe me. There is no golden future for West Ham. Enjoy the ride as it is. It'll all be over.
Mate,
I'm telling you now. It'll all be over. Nostradamus is back again. We'll all be over. And I'll tell you what, if we didn't go for them cups, we'd have been looking back and going, I'll be here on 5 years' time. I'll be saying, see, Nick, I told you, we should have gone for the cups. We'd have gone for the cups.
This all week, mate. You've done this all week. You've ruined his mood all week.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'm coming round to Nigel's way of thinking here, and I'll take relegation and a cup. I will.
No.
It's not physically possible to get relegated.
Wigan's done it. Well, no, but that's why we got to go.
That's the beauty of this season. That's the beauty of this season. We can't get relegated, so we might as well just go all out to win a cup, right?
Let's accept Rice is going in the summer. Fuck it. Let's go out on a high. Let's get a cup. No, I can't have that. I want more. I think I want us to move on. I don't want us to go back. Let's have a vote. Who?
Ask the people, in the chat.
From the four of us, and also in the chat as well, who takes cup over league?
Cup over 6. No, hang on a minute. Cup over 6.
Cup over league.
We can't get relegated. You just said that. So cup.
Cup over league.
Europa or FA Cup? Europa or FA Cup? Hang on, Europa or FA Cup?
Either
for me. Either.
Any.
Nick, I know what I understand. Your forward thinking.
I would
and I'm
take
a bit
Europa
like
League.
that,
I would take Europa League in the league. I wouldn't take the FA Cup over the league.
the FA Cup's more prestigious than any of them
I know
things.
it is.
Still going relegation and win a cup. Nick will stop and bust. Yes, he would. Mike is saying, Father Jack's going, cup win makes Europe whatever. Yes. Cup for Glenn. Yes, cup over league from Stel. Yes, absolutely.
Nick's outvoted.
What's this from Chris Mills? I'll take Upton Park. I'll take relegation and cup. Imagine London Stadium in the Championship. Well, I don't know. A bit right. I'll tell you what.
It looked like Southampton on Boxing Day.
Doesn't matter where we are, Chris. It doesn't matter where we are, Chris. The Championship is a laugh, and you can't deny that. Cup for Mike. Cup for Joan.
It's cups all round. We're going to win a cup.
Gary. No, but hang on, Gary. The only reason I'm saying that is because of where we are currently in the league.
Now, don't try and write back, Nick, because you've made your decision. You've come down on the wrong side of the fence.
No, but if we was mid-table, then I would go, yeah, fuck it, you got to do it. But what you're saying is throw away where we are at the moment to win the cup.
All right, look, right. Let's have a look. West Ham United, 1983. Let's look at the honours. What Panini have said. West Ham honours. They haven't gone. Oh, they finished sixth in 1927.
I know.
Exactly.
What they've said is, that we won the Division 2 Championship in 57, 58, and 81, and we were FA Cup winners and European Cup winners.
Yeah, it's only
That's
wins
your
that matter.
honours, bold mate. That's your honours.
It's only wins that matter.
Or
I would take Europa. No, Europa Cup. I would take Europa Cup over the league. Because Europa Cup gets you into Champions League.
Claire says FA Cup, we won't win Europa. But Claire, would you take Europa over FA Cup? Important question. FA Cup every time for Richard. Neil, either cup. He's easily pleased. Me too, Neil. Glenn, fucking Steven Gerrard. Europa Cup. Glenn Marshall, Europa Cup relegated in Champions League. Fucking hell, imagine that.
Yeah, imagine
that. Imagine if we got relegated and won the Europa League. We'd be in the Champions League and the Championship.
This is what it's about. To be fair, I'd rather win the FA Cup, because if we win the UEFA Cup, I've got to buy another fucking Chinese.
I'll tell you what, Nigel, I've got to come round your place and have my photo done with that, because I was too poor to have it done when I was a kid. Garino, FA Cup. Yes. Black Country Hammer, Cup over League. Both. Let's be greedy. I agree.
Why not? To coin a phrase, let's treat every game like a cup final.
Championship is a great league. I'll tell you what, we had some fucking fun in the Championship. I'll tell you, we really enjoyed it. But I've never not enjoyed the Championship, right? I've never not enjoyed it.
No, but let's not go back. Though.
I could get tickets for away games in the Championship.
Let's not wish for the fucking Championship. It's nice being in the Premier League, isn't it?
Right. We better win tomorrow. Yes, we better. So that's who nicked it. Oh, Cup Defo from
Elios is attacking Nick again.
Yeah. Oh, that's not unusual. I want to watch Claret and Booze when we're in mid-table in the Championship, and Mark Noble coming out of retirement. With Nick losing his shit when we get beat by Middlesbrough. Yeah. You don't want to see that. That's going to be right. Joan, be prepared for a roller coaster from Father Jack, and finally, load of ball still. That's a bit harsh. Anyway, let's move on. Nick, what's the next section?
Well, are we doing the quiz after me?
No, we're doing Mr. John. Mr. John is on.
Why don't you get the pin number for the quiz ready for everyone that wants to beat Nige for later?
Yeah. Seriously, how many quizzes have we done now, Nigel? Have we done three? Three.
Yeah.
And he still ain't been beat.
Well, I'm not sure about that.
Do you know what's really embarrassing, Nigel? Do you know what's really embarrassing?
Go on.
Right. John, who took part in the last quiz, he even knew what the answers were, and you still beat him because he weren't quick enough.
Let me see those fingers.
Shut up, you blum.
Right,
okay, you ready for mock the week?
Yeah, go on, John.
Just so let me just add a little disclaimer. No offence is intended to anybody that I may or may not know. That includes
especially
people here. I had to touch on this one purely because it is a serious topic, but Mason Mount's been released from prison because they've already started singing songs when he's walking down the wings. Anyway, I'll move on quickly. Dirty man, dirty scumbag. Anyway, all change at Everton and the Toffees. They've employed Frank Lampard Looks like he's been eating too many of those fucking toffees. 2 good signings, though, from Lampard. Donny van der Beek. Oh, no, that's the geezer from This Is Chelsea. Donny van der Beek. And he's also signed Dele Alli. Sorry, he's also signed Dele Alli. Dele Alli. So Dele Alli's left Spurs. He's gone to Everton. And as we know, Tottenham have had some real trouble attracting players. This is Dave Edgar, who plays for the Dog and Duck in the 17th division of non-league football. He's refused to move to Tottenham. Arsenal have got their own problems. They've let players go left, right and centre. And as we know, Patrick Aubameyang has just gone over and signed for Barcelona. Roy Keane's in the headlines. He's looking to take on the Sunderland job. However, he's got his own problems in the family tree side of things, genetics. It's been proven that he is actually twin brother to Espirito Di Santo. They've been found to be twins separated at birth. So who goes for the job? No one will ever know. Moyes also in the headlines for genetics. He's been twinned with Beaker. Beaker from the Muppet Show and him have been proven that they are actually twins. This week, the transfer window came and went. And we've got some exclusive pictures of Nick looking out of his bedroom window frantically on the day of the transfers. Now, poor old Jesse Lingard, you know, he didn't get any move in the January transfer window. Now, I'm not being funny. He's probably a little bit to blame himself because he did believe Ole when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said, you're going to be part of my team. You're going to be playing. Ralph Rangnick has stopped him moving in January purely because West Ham are too big now. And he doesn't want them to go Newcastle because of what they might be.
Yeah.
Jesse Lingard and his brother, Louis Scott, have been discussing the potential moves in the summer. Here they are discussing it. And the West Ham circus has continued. The search for the striker goes on. No strikers come through the door. And as you can see, the well-known ITKs of this world have been in discussion and they're almost in shock that none of their rumours came through.
That's X on the left.
John, gonna give it to you.
He's going to give it to you.
Scoop.
So as we know, and as comments in the chat have alluded to, our friend Nick, who's top left of your screen, you know, the good-looking fella with the glasses, he's been driving us all a little bit crazy this week. He's been a little bit what we call WhatsApp angry. So much so that our phones have been on fire 24/7 almost. And if we don't reply within seconds, he comes up with another deluded rant. So me and Gary have decided to go into the book writing side of things. We're going to produce a new book, which is due out in the summer, and it's entitled How to Ignore Someone on WhatsApp. We have got it down to a T. Listen, I've known him 35 years. He's always been the same. Our friend Nick. You know, we've got many nicknames for him, but our new nickname going forward will be Bipolar Bear. That sums up Nick to a P. From a day-to-day basis, he changes his tune. And generally, this week, Nigel's been the one who's been changing his tune. Generally.
Sorry, I'm joking.
So West Ham fans, quite rightly, I'm one of those, been quite disappointed with the transfer window. And we was all a little bit overjoyed when Rob Newman signed and came on board back in October. There he is there talking to David Moyes, and they were like a pair of superheroes. There's Newman back in October pointing up, saying, look at the calibre of players we're going to get. And they worked tirelessly. They worked tirelessly through January trying to get players, or so we think. Hidden footage has shown how these two clowns have actually been working. This is... David Moyes' uncle has come out and said, do not accuse my nephew of being a tight Scottish you-know-what. And Moyes toed the company line when he came out in his well-documented and well-edited video or documentary, whatever you want to call it, to thank all the board and everyone else who he could get names in for. He wanted to thank Sullivan. Sullivan in return thanked him and went on his first jet to Mauritius, absolutely loaded. When he arrived, he got in the foyer. He was jumping around the gaff. Karen Brady, she came on GMTV and said, thank you, I was working very hard from my boat in the Maldives alongside her husband, Paul Pesky Salido. Sorry, there's Paul Pesky Salido. That's not Paul Pesky Salido, who's an ex-Birmingham player, as we know. Everyone wants to know, was that a scripted interview? Of course it was. But who was pulling the strings? Well, again, I've got exclusive behind-the-scenes footage. Sullivan said he had nothing to do with Moyes and what he was saying in terms of thanking everybody. Anyway, I've got some breaking news just come through in terms of our striker search. It could all be good. It could all be good. Classic picture. Diego Costa. He's got rough green now. I'm going to shoot down there. All jokes aside, he's 32. We've discussed it during the week. It'd be worth a punt on a free transfer. 100 grand a week. Imagine how good it'd be to see him in a West Ham shirt. We'd love that, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Anyway, quickly, onto a new feature. And it's going to be something we're going to stick with. And we're going to call it Cock of the Week. As you can obviously see. And here's a little introduction.
Hello there. I'm Sally, and I'm desperately disappointed to tell you that this is Cock of the Week.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant.
Sullivan there helping us out in our Cock of the Week show. First of all, we've got this man, the saviour, Daniel Kretinsky. He's smooth, he's dashing, he's good looking, he speaks 3 or 4 languages, but don't let him take your daughter out because he'll probably split the bill with her to tight, you know what. Here's one of many ITKs. Nigel, that ain't a picture of Sean Whetstone. How dare you? Anyway, moving on very quickly. Ralph Rangnick looks like a geography teacher, but to be honest with you, he's just absolutely dealt Lingard an absolute howler, making the man sit on the bench for the next 3 or 4 months and probably missing out on his England chances in the World Cup. David Sullivan, what do we say about this guy? What's he done? God knows. Moyes thanked him. He's probably been too busy with his 40-year-old girlfriend. And let's be honest, I wonder what she sees in him. Pretty much just his cash. Rob Newman came to West Ham with high hopes, coming from Man City, I believe, when he was well respected. But has he come and just sort of took a pay? You know, has he taken a gardening leave? Is he on full pay and doing much? I don't know. David Moyes, he told the party line. He said exactly what we all thought he was going to say. And unfortunately, in most people's eyes, he could have potentially gone down in their opinions slightly. But we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And last but not least, good old beautiful Karen Brady took a 300 grand pay rise earlier on in the season, although it was money she was owed, but it was still a pay rise. Now does more work for Ellen Sugar on The Apprentice than anyone else. Give us your ideas, people. Let me know in the comments who out of those 6 people is your Cock of the Week. Sorry, 7 people.
It's hard to dislike her looking like that.
Well done, John. Well done, John. That was brilliant. Well done.
I thought I put someone forward for Cock of the Week, and I didn't see his picture there.
Oh, yeah. You did send me another picture earlier on. Hang on. Yeah. Sorry, guys. There's an 8th person in Cock of the Week. Hang on. I'm just trying to find it. You did. Yeah, sorry. 8th. You've got an 8th nominee for Cock of the Week.
Fuck off, Nigel.
I'll tell you what, right? That was brilliant, John. Well done. That was brilliant. I'll tell you what, that is that little picture at the end, that is like my favourite Birmingham kit. And I didn't have one before tonight.
Have you seen the photograph of Sully in the Birmingham kit?
No, don't want to. Don't ruin my mental image, right?
Good stuff. Now, well done, John. Okay, Kahoot quiz. As you can see, quiz code is 7424.
I'm joining now.
We're going to leave it running for a few minutes. We've got Mike Brennan's on it already. We've got Len. Len's in there as well.
I'll tell you what, Len, that was priceless, that introduction.
Oh, good. Yeah, cheers, Len.
We've all got to get him off a lager on the 8th of April, he said.
We've got East Side. East Side is the best. He's on there.
How many people can join?
I think I've got up to about 20.
Oh, okay. Come on in, people. Get in. Don't worry. Nigel ain't as knowledgeable as he likes to make out. You know what I mean?
I came second last time, so that means I'll finish about 25th this time.
And you was hammered. You come second. I remember you was actually hammered.
Pretty impressive.
There we go. Who's brains? Is that you, Nigel? Is that you?
What's he called himself?
Brains.
Brains. Man United and Middlesbrough gone into penalties. Bloody hell.
Oh,
come on, you beautiful people. Get on here and join this quiz and knock Nigel off his perch.
Come on, we want 10. We want 10 at least.
Yeah. Come on, Claire. Where's Claire? She said she was coming in.
Claire, come on, Claire. Come on, Joan. Where are you?
Still.
Father Jack. Oh, you're on here already.
Where's that? What about Neil? Neil from down under. Come on, Neil.
Nick,
come
still
all this way
from
Australia. You might as well.
Florin Radicchio, who's joined.
Here we
Good
go.
evening, Florin.
2 bob in it.
Nick Stelios reckons you're cock of the week, mate. Sean from Neil from Down Under says Sean was lifelike. The picture of him.
I thought this all these score updates we saw on here. I thought it was the penalty shootout score updates. Is this actual score updates?
What?
No, that's
So it's actually 4-4.
No, that's penalties. That's penalties. That's penalties.
Right. Oh, okay. Oh, I got it wrong. Oh,
Man United miss and they are out. We're waiting for that one. So Brennan,
oh,
you've
really?
got
They're out. Good night, Man U. See you later.
If they miss.
Right, so you got Aussie, Gary, you got Brains. Well, I think that's all we've got then.
5-5.
And down from 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
I'm ready.
Let's go, people. Look at Nigel. Nigel's gone very quiet. He's such a
Concentrate.
Picture of concentration. 15 questions. What team does Marko Arnautovic now play for?
I think it's them.
What?
Hey.
Okay, well done, everyone. Okay. Next one. Yeah, Brains is top. Of course he is. Look.
Oh, that quick. He must be like fingers.
He's proper on there, isn't he? Where did ex-Hammer Jonathan Spector end his career? Rafe Rovers, Dunfermline, Caddenbeath, or Hibernian?
I don't know this one.
Tell you what.
I bet you guess it right, though.
I'm going to go there.
This is your chance. Oh,
Hey.
did you guess right? That must have been a no. Yeah, he did, yeah.
Right.
Fucking hell. Okay. Which player is the youngest to make their West Ham debut? Mark Noble, Freddie Sears, Reece Oxford, or Domingos Quina?
This is Premier League, by the way.
Or Quinoa?
Quinoa, yeah.
Nick, you showed us his picture. What's the point of that?
No, it was supposed to go slower than that on what I did earlier on. Because I wanted to make it a bit easier for people.
That definitely ain't Mark Noble.
No, I know.
Bollocks, I got that wrong.
Someone's still got it wrong. You got it. Hang on.
Len, that was Len. Where's
I didn't
Len?
see the
Where's
picture.
Len?
Oh, there I am. I've dropped out the fucking top 10 again, like I always do.
Right, which goalkeeper is the oldest to have played in a match for West Ham? Right, this is another one of them things. That's a bit better.
Oh, yeah, that's better.
Oh, really?
No, it's not Jussi Jääskeläinen, is it?
Go away.
Oh, bollocks. I've gone Les Seeley.
Ah!
I didn't see the picture. Like, I didn't realise
There's only a few days in it.
Aussie.
What?
Yeah, that's
is-
me. I don't count because I've done the questions, so I don't really count that on there.
Good. In which season did West Ham first get relegated from the Premier League? 2002, 304, 102, or 2000 and 2001 season?
I don't know, you know. I'm having a guess at this. I think I just got it wrong, actually.
7-7 on penalty shootout, by the way.
Oh, no,
Blimey.
I got it right. I got it right. Yay. Yay, me.
Rangers back.
I'm fifth.
I'm not going to answer anymore because people want to get top three, won't they?
Who was West Ham's first Premier League opposition at the London Stadium?
Nigel hasn't spoken yet with 10 questions. He loves to win, this guy. If he loses, he won't sleep tonight. He'll get all these books out and start reading them through the night. He won't even laugh, lad. Look, in case he puts it on.
There we go. Florin Radicchio, whoever that is. You're on Nigel's tail.
Yeah, who is that? Why didn't
Right,
clear it?
there are a couple of there's a couple of questions on here which are you can double your points.
Who received the most Premier League red cards for West Ham? Premier League, West Ham. Premier League. Who the bloody hell's that? Oh, I know what you've done.
He's cut his face
Oh, no,
out.
you've
I don't know
done.
why that's happened.
You've got him when he was on loan
Joe.
somewhere. Haven't you?
Oh, really?
That's when he was on loan there.
Yeah, I
sure about
know.
that.
I've screwed
Yeah,
up.
I've got that.
Screwed up. I didn't realise because after these questions, I could have got it right if I'd have known it was a photo. I was
Mark
waiting
Noble
for the photo to come
has
through.
got the more red
Oh,
card.
Len.
Yeah, in
Len's
the Premier
coming,
League. Yeah.
Nige.
Len's catching you up, Nigel. You're in trouble here, mate.
What nationality was John Carew? Be quick.
Definitely Dutch. Man United are out on penalties
No,
to
I got it
Borough.
wrong. I got it wrong. Fuck it. I got it wrong. I know this, and I got it wrong.
Hoody hood.
You'd agree to Bruce Moody.
Belky Road.
Garino keeps answering the questions in the chat. Garino, stop it. I'm only joking.
Ooh. Brainsy running away with it. Okay.
Come
next
on,
one.
catch him.
West Ham played Kidderminster in 1994. Who was the captain?
For West Ham.
Martin Allen, Ian Bishop, Alvin Martin, or Steve Potts?
I was at that game. What a game. You were at that game, Nige?
No.
I remember they put up like scaffold seating and everything.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. I
capacity.
took a guess on this.
Yeah, that could have been any of them, really, couldn't it? But...
Well, I think it was they were on the right hand. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, he's got one wrong. He's got one wrong. Come on. Oh, Brendan's catching him.
Come on, Gary.
West Ham bought Lee Chapman from which club? Portsmouth, Leeds, Sheffield Wednesday, or Nottingham Forest?
Obvious, isn't it?
played for Arsenal as well.
Journeyman.
Funny story about that is before we joined us, he turned us down, went to play with this club, was only there for 2 months.
Yeah. Played
Before
5
we signed
games.
Yeah.
Right, who scored West Ham's first ever Premier League hat-trick? Paul Kitson, Tony Cossey, Jermaine Defoe, or John Hartson?
Oh, fuck. It's another one of those photo things.
What, you got it wrong?
Fucking hell. I could
You
have got
get
it
all
right.
points for answering it quickly, so if you know it, you just do
These
it
4
quick.
questions I could have got right if I'd have waited for the photo.
That was against
When-
Man City.
When he
scored
came
3.
back, wasn't it? When,
Yeah.
when he got his 100th goal as well, or got
Yeah.
a league goal for West Ham.
100th league goal, yeah.
Well, this is double your points. Who did Dean Ashton make his international debut against?
Oh, fuck off.
USA, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, or Sweden? This is your chance, people.
It is because I don't know this.
You'll probably guess it right, Nige. You always do.
I think, I think I just got it wrong, but I think I know which one it is, and I think I went to the game.
If you got it wrong, you went to the game.
I know. If it's the one, yeah, exactly. Trinidad and Tobago is at Old Trafford. That's why I went.
You still got
Fuck
it
it.
wrong.
Oh no.
Did you get it right, Nige?
Yeah, I did. Sorry.
Oh, blimey.
Was it at Old Trafford, Nige? Was that the game?
I believe so. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
who missed a
yeah,
penalty
well-
in the first leg of the Intertoto final against Mets in 1999? Di Canio, Joe Cole, Michael Carrick, or Frank Lampard?
Silly, really. I've just got that one wrong as well.
Yeah, but you want to do
Another-
it quick to get more points. That's the
Yeah, I
thing.
know. It's another photo one that I should have waited
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, but then you get less points if you get it right.
Yeah.
Nigel got that wrong. Yes.
True or false? Thomas Repka made more appearances for West Ham than Harry Redknapp. True or false?
Scott, this is a guess. I know how many Harry made. I don't know how many Repka made.
Wasn't much in it. But... The answer is true. Repka made 188. 188 Repka, 175.
Harry won
Redknapp.
70 odd, wasn't he, Harry?
Yeah, 175.
Good guessing, everyone. Good guessing. Right, last one. Double your points. Who scored West Ham's first goal of the 21st century? Di Canio, Canute, Cole, or Trevor Sinclair?
2000. Fucking hell.
They was all at the club then, so it's not like
Yeah.
you're trying.
Only one
Yes,
answer so far.
Yeah, it's a toughie.
Not sure.
I
I
thought
don't know the
Nigel,
answer.
I'm quite disappointed. I thought Nigel would know this straight away. I'm really disappointed, actually. Get it right, Nigel.
We'll see.
No, we won't see. Did you get it right?
Well, it's double points.
Right,
So if I
Brennan,
didn't,
Mike?
I'm in trouble, wouldn't I?
Brennan come third. That's because he's sober. He's running tomorrow. He ain't had a drink. That's why he come third.
Oh, is that what he's done?
And-
He's gone all sober on us.
Who's flooring Radachuk? Nigel won again. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, well done,
Well,
Nigel.
Well done. Unlucky, Len.
Len come fifth. Oh dear. Stick
Unlucky,
to
Len.
stick to the doodling, Len.
Yeah.
Check out his FA Cup one, people. Very good.
That is very good, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, it is good actually.
Very good.
He's taking pride of place. Is it in Chris Mills's bar? On who's a bloke on Twitter? Len, Len done the picture of the bowling.
Yeah, he's got Chris Mills got one. I've got one. Look, I'll tell you what. Let me do an advert for Len.
Go on.
I'll put his link up for his website in the chat if people don't know.
Yeah. Do that.
Because I've got one here. So this is how good. This is the A3 one. I did paper it as well, people. So this will be framed.
That's lovely.
That is lovely, isn't it?
That will be framed on the wall. And Chris Mills, he's put one. He's one up. He's got a lovely room, Chris. I think.
He has. Yeah.
He's got one of them FA Cups as well.
Right, no, top quality.
You know what?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask Len if he could do Upton Park as it was with the porter cabin and all that.
Well, I think hang about. I think the man's got a list.
He can do that because he's got. That's one of the backgrounds. One of the optional backgrounds is the old Upton Park with a porter cabin.
Yeah, but
I haven't seen him, if I'm honest. Obviously,
he can even do dogs if you ask him nicely. If you fancied your pet painted, lend your man.
No, I will. I got my boxer dog. You're gonna have to do me boxer, Len. I'm gonna have to get you on.
Do you see he's painting of when it Einstein from Back to the Future?
Yes, yeah.
He done that one. That was good, wasn't it? Really, really good.
Yeah. It was good because when Einstein spoke on the video, he half sounded like the geezer out of Back to the Future as well. That was great.
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, Caddington Len, he does all your portrait work, all cartoon stuff. He's done all our images of our big heads and all that, and he does loads of West Ham fans, and he's really good at what he does. So I'm sure most of you know, but if you don't, his links in the chat.
What I might do, I just had a good idea, right? Because we're a dog family. We've had lots of dogs, and I've got lots of pictures of dogs.
Listen, don't bring your sexual life into it.
I know. But what I might ask Len to do, what I'm thinking of asking Len to do, is taking all the dogs that we've had for the last 30 years or something, and getting them in a squad photo, a West Ham squad photo. I think that would be superb.
That would be good.
I'd love to do that. I think I'm going to do that.
That'd be a challenge for him, but yeah, that would.
I wonder how that team would play on the pitch. I think that'd be a bit rough. I could write to the slum, really, shouldn't I?
You should. All right, okay.
What's next?
To our fixture away at Kidderminster Harriers on Saturday in the FA Cup. Just a quick brief on this. Kidderminster and West Ham have met once before in the FA Cup. The 93-94 fifth round, a game that was settled by a Lee Chapman winner. West Ham have progressed from their last 10 FA Cup ties against non-league opposition since being eliminated by Swindon Town in 1911 and 12, when they too were a non-league side. Kidderminster have won 5 of their last 6 FA Cup ties on home soil, a run which dates back to 2013. The Carpetmen, as they're known, are welcoming top-flight opposition to their home stadium for the 3rd time, losing 1-0 to West Ham in 1994 and drawing 1-1 with Wolves in 2004 before losing in the replay. West Ham have lost 3 of their last 4 fourth-round ties in the FA Cup, although they did beat Doncaster at this stage last season. West Ham manager David Moyes has overseen 5 FA Cup games against non-league sides. He's won 4 and drawn 1, seeing his sides keep a clean sheet in each game. 3 with Preston, 1 with Everton, and 1 with West Ham. So that's about it for the preview. I don't really know too much about Kidderminster. I do remember the game though, the last one with the Lee Chapman goal. That was a bit of a dodgy day, wasn't it?
So we don't know who they are. We don't know how good they are. We don't know.
They're not very good, are they? Let's face it.
They beat Reading in the last round.
Yeah.
I've got some great stats for you then. Kidderminster Harriers were formed as a running club.
Go on.
That's right, Harriers, yeah.
That's why they were called Harriers. And
Yeah.
they actually merged with a rugby club. And then for some strange reason, instead of taking up rugby, took up football. And I believe it was in 1886. They're older than West Ham United. And they moved into their ground, Agbra, the next year.
Yeah.
Played in the Birmingham League. Wore claret and blue between 1920 and 1928. But out of mark of respect for Aston Villa, not for West Ham. But then again, we wore the kit out of mark of respect for Aston Villa as well. So it looks like the same kit. Didn't really do a lot. Joined non-league football, left the Birmingham League after the Second World War. Potted about a bit. Their best golden period was coincided. They won the FA Trophy, I think, in 1986-87. Yeah. They then they'd won the Alliance League, I think, once. Then they played West Ham, obviously in the Cup. Knocked out David Moyes, Preston. He was playing for Preston.
Oh, right.
Yeah. He weren't the manager. He was centre-half for Preston. That good that they got knocked out. They'd knocked Birmingham City out in the third round, Preston in the fourth, got us in the fifth, lost 1-0. Lee Chapman header. And then they followed that up. They appointed Jan Mulby as manager in 1998, I believe, ex of obviously Liverpool. He took them to the title and promotion into the Football League in 2000. They had a player called Mike Marsh playing for them. Older West Ham fans will remember Mike Marsh because we signed him from Liverpool when we sold Julian Dix to Liverpool. He came with Burrows. And actually, they turned up the same day as Lee Chapman as well. Chapman from Portsmouth, Burrows from Liverpool, Mike Marsh from Liverpool, Julian Dix went to Liverpool. And then what happened is Mike Marsh got a bad injury, I think, playing for, I don't know if it was a Coventry or Southend. He was at Southend, got a bad injury, had to take semi-retirement, played non-league football, was at Kidderminster for 7 months. They won the league. He could not then play for Kidderminster.
In the league.
Because he'd taken the insurance payout. And the rules were, and they probably still are, that if you've retired from professional football and taken the insurance payout, if you then want, yes, you have to pay it back.
Oh, really?
If you then, become a professional footballer, you have to pay back the insurance money.
You know who did that? Do you remember who did that?
It was one player. I can't remember.
Remember the goalkeeper, Tony Roberts?
Tony Roberts.
And then he went non-league at Dagenham and they got promoted and he was so desperate to stay, he paid his insurance back.
Right, I knew it had been done. So that's it. So Mike Marsh then went off and trundled around. But he's well thought of in the Kidderminster area for the performance he's put in. They run in top flight for 5 years, though, before being relegated back to non-league football.
I think Nigel said this at the beginning. They were an athletics club, the Kidderminster
Harriers. They were formed as a running club, but merged with, and that was the thing that no one seemed to find out wise. They merged with the local rugby club, but then instead of taking up rugby, took up association football, as it was known in the 1880s.
Right. Strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they took the athletics club of the Harriers. That was their name. The rugby club was called the Kidderminster Murderers. They decided to go.
They're not. I mean, I know the thing is, you know, always shocks can happen. I can't see us losing. However, you know, as the old saying goes, they've got nothing to lose. They're at home. They're third. I think they're third or fourth in their league. Right? It is the sixth division, if you like, of the country. But the sixth division, you know, still the sixth division. It's better than any of us boxing.
It's gone 10:30, so this has been published on my website, but it's embargoed. It was embargoed till 10:30, which is the David Moyes press conference. So this is what David Moyes said on Kidderminster. He said the draws we've had in the Cup, Man United and Man City in the Carabao Cup, Leeds United in the FA Cup, I was expecting a Premier League club. So the chance to play a non-league team is a big challenge. It's something different for us. But we'll prepare and do everything possibly we can to deal with it in the right way. It's important we get through. Won't be easy. They never are with the surroundings and the change of all the things that come a long way from the Premier League. But we have to make sure we get that right from the start. What he then also said was, Someone then asked a
Antonio's playing.
question, right? A lot of your overseas players won't associate English football with the type of conditions you will experience tomorrow. Can you prepare for it? Don't think Dave liked this question. He went, I think you're wrong. I think a lot of the players from overseas come from situations where they've played in small stadiums and the pitches aren't that great. And what they're possibly not ready for is what can come from the Cup. So there you go. And the referee, I believe, is John Moss tomorrow. And Moyes, I knew that'd cheer you up. I've started him up again. Wait for him tomorrow. We'll deal with whatever we get. Most players started at level. Not everybody started right at the top. And a lot of players have come through academies and not used to non-league football. But most of our young players go and play against these teams when they're 17 and 18.
Yeah. No, I think as you've just heard from Nigel, never does half a job when he talks about something. He does his research and he understands it. So, and if you like that kind of detail, you will love 6foot2.co.uk.
Yeah,
get along there to Nigel's website and subscribe.
Been going a month. I've published 103 articles, of which I've done 67 myself.
Nigel's not.
Yeah, and the good thing is about it, Nigel, is that other people can have a crack. Other people can send their stories in or whatever they've got, and you publish that. So it's really good.
Well, the idea is it'll grow into a fan. If you remember, like Overland and Sea, and that's the ideal aim. That it'll be a fanzine style. So I want as many people and what I don't do is I don't edit it. I don't, I might all I do is I stick it through spell check. That's it. If you got something to say, whether I agree with it or not, I'll publish it. Now, if I don't agree with it, I'll put a little comment underneath saying this is what I think. But everybody's entitled to a view, even Nick.
Yeah, of course.
No, and you've proven that so far. You've published a load of different views on there so far. You're not sort of partisan. You're not just publishing one way you think. You're publishing the way everybody thinks, right?
Yeah.
Everyone's got a voice.
That's right. That's right.
Everyone, talking of voices, check out West Ham Voice with Stelios Hammer. And if you want to hear more transfer rubbish,
exactly. Stelios. Yeah, we love Stelios. Stel's got his channel as well, which might seem a bit funny for someone as popular as Stel and with as many people who, as many followers as Stel. But he's started his own channel again, all over from the beginning. So get on and follow Stel. It's it probably won't take long for that channel to take off, but you can't take it for granted. So get on there and help.
And as today's proven, he's a proper hammer because he had pie and mash with liquor, so he's a proper hammer.
He did, and he spilled it all over his Savanchinos as well.
And he says no content on it at the moment.
So you can tell how much of a proper hammer I am. I just went to him. We're going more rings than you're paying.
Almost like a Tottenham fan there, Nigel.
Mate, we fucking don't fuck about. I did buy the beer though, to be fair.
Well, that's all right then. That's all right. You did all you had to do. You did all you had to do. So, Nick, are we? I almost.
Yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do. Can you hear me all right? I think my mic and everything's died. Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. Stel, you've done it all wrong. And Nigel clearly didn't advise you the way a proper Cockney should advise you. And that is, you need to season the liquor with some white pepper. And
no, he did. To be fair, I did clock him. We got the old chili vinegar on. And
he still thought it was crap after that.
I think it's the liquor.
It's just the look of it.
I think he just never likes. I don't know. People don't like green.
Yes.
There's a quick question for you here, mate. I won't read it out in case we've got listeners. So just as a quick question.
Go on. Isn't it going for the glory hole line? What's a glory?
Well, he's a West Ham fan, so it'd be lack of glory hole.
Yeah.
Nick's playing all innocent. What's a glory hole?
Yeah.
Honestly, I know what a glory hole is. I don't know much about the lighting that you get at a glory hole, though. Okay.
Just don't lean back.
This I know that we're going to disagree about. So line up against Kidderminster. Let's start at the back. Let's start with a
Are we doing what we want or what we think he's going to do?
No. What we think
Moyes is going to do. What we think Moyes is going to do. Areola in goal.
Yeah. Nigel, what do you reckon?
Areola in goal, definitely.
Nigel reckons Fabianski.
No, Nigel's wrong.
Well, that ain't often said, but yeah, if we're going to go with what Moyes will do, I'd go with Areola in goal.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're trying to go by what. Well, the only player I haven't got, everyone, I haven't got Ocoflex, so we'll have to use a prop.
Well, don't worry, he won't be needed.
Player for Ocoflex.
Just get a picture of an Oxo cube.
Yeah.
Yeah, get an Oxo cube.
Yeah.
Get an Oxo cube and put him in.
Where's
there.
the donkey?
Yeah, could use one of them. Hopefully not one of them.
They played yet.
Right, left back. Who we
Where's
going
the
left
donkey,
back?
Nigel?
Left back will be Johnson.
I reckon it'd be Masuaku.
Go away.
Oh,
Don't
No, it'd be Masuaku.
don't go there.
Then
No,
we will move.
This is Johnson all day long. Surely it is, isn't it? Or
No,
Cresswell.
I think Johnson now should be right back. For me, Johnson is after Kufal's form over the past little while. I think now, because apparently Johnson's been carrying a bit of an injury, and he's fully fit now. I think Johnson is our best right back, in my opinion.
All right. So look, let's put it up to the vote. Let's just do left back, right? So I'm going to revise what I just said because I was thinking left back, right back. Cresswell will play left back tomorrow.
What against?
That's what I think.
Against Kidderminster? No way.
I think so. I think so. Nigel thinks so. John, what do you think?
I do.
I don't think he will. I think he can afford to put in someone else. Definitely. I think he'll put Arthur there, but we'll go to a vote. Eh?
Go on, Nick. What do you think?
That's 2-2.
2-2. You're going Arthur versus right. I'll tell you what. Right. I've got a coin here.
Yeah, cost of time.
Nick.
Cost of time.
Sorry, John. Heads or tails?
Heads.
Heads it is. So Arthur at left back.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, right back.
Scientific stuff.
Paul said size of Krau's fucking loaf. You ain't seen the
Yeah,
size
I
of
know.
Have a look at Nick's head.
That's Nick. Nick needs to sort his shit out, and he's only ever got that massive loaf for Crow. He has used it to his advantage sometimes though, because he's hidden.
I do use him to sort of obscure other players.
He's hidden players behind Crow before, and no one can see around Crow's head because it's
Just
so big.
explain. Still, we're not saying we want Arthur. We're saying this is what we think Moyes will do. Just so you know, so we know how much you love Arthur.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's not go to right back yet. Let's do centre back.
Rank.
Right, listen, centre backs. What we thinking?
Centre back will be Diop and Dawson.
I think Diop and Elise myself.
You reckon?
Oh, wow, left field.
I'm going to go Diop definitely. I think we all agree on Diop, right? Diop's playing.
I don't think he's going to risk Boomer or Dawson.
Who's partnering Diop? So I'm going to go for what's his name? For Dawson. Who else is going for Dawson?
Yeah, I think Moyes is going to.
I can't see he'll throw the kit. I think he should throw one in, but I don't think he will.
So you're outvoted there, Nick. Put Dawson in. Bring that lovely hairstyle, and put him in centre half.
Did you see the photo of him? Did you see the image of him on the social media the other day? He looked well hot.
Was he gorgeous, John? Was he gorgeous?
He looks like a surfer. He looks like a surfer, mate. He's an amazing creature.
Right, listen. Right back. We've either got in this one. It ain't going to be. I don't think it'll be Sufel. Could potentially be Johnson, but I think it could be. What's his name? Harrison Ashby or Fredericks.
I bet Arthur gets skinned by the 38-year-old plumber and part-time right winger for Kidderminster.
No, he won't get skinned by the 38-year-old plumber. That plumber's at Nick's house.
He just had a baby Stell. They are quite similar, to be fair.
Right, listen, Harrison Ashby or Fredericks at right back.
I'm going to go Johnson. I'm going to go Johnson at right back.
Okay.
No one's getting. No. Don't put Johnson in. Let's have a vote. It's a democracy.
Nige, what are you saying, Nige?
No, I'm with Gary. I can't see him putting like kids out like that. Not to start with.
I can't.
What against Kidderminster?
So Nick, you've been outvoted again. 3 out of 4. Johnson, right back.
That's fine. I know that Moyes won't do that anyway, but we'll do that for shits and giggles. There we go. Especially Moyes.
This is what we think
seriously, look, we know
you know what? Actually, I forgot Fredericks. Joan just brought up Fredericks. I totally forgot Fredericks.
I said Fredericks or Ashby.
Good point, John.
I'm going to say Fredericks. Fredericks.
I'll tell you what. Now Jones mentioned Fredericks, I'm leaning towards Fredericks.
I said
totally
Fredericks
forgot
or
about
Ashby.
Fredericks.
That's what I said to you at the start.
Is he
Oh,
fit?
we don't listen to you all week.
Yeah, we
Why are
don't
gonna
listen to you because
now?
it's white noise, right? It's white noise.
We love you, Nick.
All right, Fredericks. I've got
He's really fast as well. He's really fast.
He's very fast as well. Fuck off.
Shut your ass.
Right, central midfield.
Declan Rice and
Crowell.
he said, did he not say Crowell? Did he say
Crowell's
Crowell?
playing.
Brilliant.
Crowell's playing. Get that big head in central midfield. That big, beautiful permed head. Get him in central midfield. Who's playing alongside Crowell, though?
Noble.
Oh, yeah. I like that. I like
He's
that.
going to play them, innit? He's not going to go full strength.
Because Crowell will have the legs to support Noble. So I think that's a perfect combination. It's got everything. It's got massive head. It's got legs. It's got no legs. It's a perfect combination.
And let's be honest, Noble wants this cup to go down even more in the legendary category.
Yes,
He wants to lift it for Nigel.
Yeah.
Go on then, next one. Number 10.
Nigel won't
wing.
celebrate with Noble.
Oh, number
this
10.
year.
Number 10. 4 nows for me. Oh, no. Vlasic, number 10.
That's it.
Go on.
I don't know
That's
how
my,
he's going to go. This is the problem. It's really awkward, isn't it? I don't know.
it's usually 4-2-3-1, isn't it? Right. So we up front. Let's go to that after. But I'll go Vlasic in the middle. What do you all think? It can be left or middle.
Yeah.
No,
I
think Vlasic.
Nigel, you're on mute.
Vlasic will play left. He'll play left wing.
Am I?
No, you're not on mute. Nigel.
No, you're off. You're off. You're off.
Yeah, no. I think Vlasic. Yeah, I think he'll play Vlasic. I'm worried about
In
them
the 10
two,
role,
Crowell and Noble, but I suppose.
Yeah, but I'm not saying they go together, but in this game.
But
really.
surely Crowell and Noble will have more than enough legs for Kidderminster, won't they?
You'd like to think so.
Oh, I hope so. Who's going on left? 4 nows?
Nick's become very
Ben
quiet. I'm expecting.
Ben Rama.
I'm going Ben Rama left. I'm going Ben Rama left.
I'm going to keep your mouth shut. Go on.
I'm going Ben Rama left. Nigel's going Ben Rama. John, where are you going?
You know what?
Where are you going left? Spit it out. Come on.
Well, I don't care. 4 nows left.
No. It's got to be Ben Rama, isn't it?
Okay, well, I'll put Ben Rama there then.
No. Let's have a vote. It's a democracy.
Go on then.
John, what do you think? You've gone all quiet. Me and Nigel voted Ben Rama. What are you voting?
Yeah, I can see him getting in. Yeah. I'll go with that.
No, don't just accept it. Do you think?
No,
that's
I
what-
can't. It's a really difficult one because in the league you know the team, but in this game you don't really sure what he's going to do, are you? Do you know what I mean? In the
Trying
league,
to
we know the
base this
starting
on
11.
what he'd done in the Europa League. I think he's got his cup, like his cup teams.
Yeah.
Even though it's Kidderminster, I still think he'll go with sort of what he did in the
Semi-strong.
Europa League. Yeah, semi-strong.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why
That
I don't think he'll
midfield's
throw
piss
those
weak,
in the
though.
league.
Yeah.
Huh?
That midfield's piss weak.
It is.
Anyway.
It is. But then again, we don't know how good Crowell is with his massive head, do we?
No, that's true. Well, look, and this is the thing. This is where you find out, because if you don't do it against Kidderminster, he's
never going to do it.
He's never going to do it.
He's never playing for us again, is he? If you don't do it against Kidderminster.
No.
So who's on the right? I mean, default. I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking on the right, Bowen, and up front, I'm thinking Yarmolenko.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm thinking Yarmolenko up front.
Although I'd like to see Occo Flex go up front because he's been on the bench for about 2 months and ain't come on. That makes no sense.
I'd love
to me,
to see Occo Flex start on the right instead of Bowen. I'd like to see Bowen given
I don't
a
think he
day's
will.
rest, another day's rest ahead of Watford, leaving him on the bench for later. But I just can't see Moyes choosing Occo Flex. I hope he does.
Yeah, Glenn's raised a good point. Soucek and Crowell played together for Czech Republic. They do, don't
That
they?
is a good point. Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah.
So, do you know a thing that fits with? He could put Creswell in at the left back and play Arthur further forward on the left instead of Ben Rama. Ben Rama's been out. Fun enough, Ben Rama's out of all them. He's the one that's been out in Africa, isn't he? Playing in the
He
African
came back
Cup.
early doors, though, didn't they? Because they got knocked out early doors.
Yeah, but he's still been playing, hasn't he? Where all the others have been resting. None of the others have played.
Claire's gone for a controversial one. And I'll tell you what I'm thinking. We will lose tomorrow with that team.
What?
I don't know, I don't know, Claire. I don't know whether you're right or wrong there. That's unfair. He came on Old Trafford and played a blinder. So that's talking about Souček and Krau. Yeah, Krau. Because I thought Krau played well at Man United as well. Nick's not having it, but I thought he was magnificent against Man United. Nothing short of magnificent. Isn't that right, Nick?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. He'll stick with his favourite, Yarmolenko, to score a hat-trick. So, look, I think it's a very average-looking team. I think Claire's right in that respect. But having said that, this is, when you look at the players, player for player, you're talking Masuaku, you're talking £20 million Diop, you're talking £2 million, but very, very experienced Dawson. You're talking faster than any player in that National League One, Fredericks. You're talking Krau, Czech international, Noble, West Ham forever. You're talking Bowen on the verge of the England squad, Vlasic, regular international for Croatia, and Ben Rama, who is, he set fucking championship alight. And then you got Ukraine's second highest scorer ever in. So when you look at it in that context, it ain't a weak team compared to Kidderminster, is it?
No, but that's why it's difficult to pick, because we don't know what he's going to do. Technically, he should throw more kids in, but he won't, because he's going to take it seriously. So, which he should, but we should have enough whoever we put in to beat them technically. But don't underestimate.
Only one of those starts against Watford.
Meryl Streep was out of Africa. I'd rather her on the left than Arthur.
Yeah. I said only one of those starts against Watford.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. And that is Dawson. Yeah. I think when you Claire, don't underestimate Kidderminster. No, we're trying not to. I think
Bowen starts as well.
Yeah, yeah, Bowen as well. Yes, two. It's two.
I didn't see him. Sorry, two. Yeah. Oh yeah.
These are the squad. Well, look, I think that's right as well. These are the squad players that need to perform. And that's what he did. That's what Moisey did with the Europa League earlier in the season. We did play our second team, didn't we? And let's be honest, our second team full of internationals should be enough to beat Kidderminster, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Arthur worries me. He worries everybody, especially Still. And that's why we're on TV. Yes,
well,
we're on TV there's a chance for shock.
I still maintain, and this is the thing: is you got to go a long way back to where we lost to a Division 4 team or for a fourth tier team. What are these?
Yeah.
These are sixth tier.
Yeah.
So we've lost to third tier and we've lost to second tier copious amounts of time. Not sure about fourth tier teams. Newport County might have been a fourth tier team. I'm not sure. Back in 1979.
Yeah.
But so realistically, I mean, there was Hereford in the 70s. They may have been. That's it. But modern West Ham, we'll lose to lower teams, but not this low. So every conference.
So Arthur should have gone to the AFCON and not come back. Bit harsh, still. Bit harsh.
He's French, isn't he?
Let's not forget. At home last season, we had a team of kids and Muller Doncaster. Yeah, look, this is why I think there's such a massive gap between the Premier League, the fitness levels and the quality you get in the Premier League compared to the rest of the league and the non-league, that I think it's very difficult it's very difficult to imagine that even our second team will struggle against Kidderminster. I could be completely wrong.
No, I think we'll be all right. I think that team's going to have enough to beat them, personally.
To be honest with you, Nick, like you said, any of the 11 really there should beat Kidderminster Harriers. Let's be honest, on paper.
Providing you've got you've got the big guns on the bench, that you can bring on, which should be fine. See,
Glenn's been drawing with Emily.
see what I think is that if you play. Sometimes when you play against these lower teams, I'm not saying we've got Billy Big Bollocks players, because I don't think we have. But I think sometimes you're going up against Kidderminster. It is a cup final for a team like that. They're going to be flying into the tables. They're going to be super motivated. And you know what? If you do throw a few youngsters in, I think they'll be able to match that enthusiasm. It's a big day for them as well. So
there's no replays. Is that right?
No replays.
No replays.
Which is a shame because you think if they got imagine if they got the draw, they'd love to come back there and get money, wouldn't they? But
no. It was a shame.
They're not going to get the draw either. But you know,
yeah.
Just to pick Glenn up, we beat Emily 2-1.
Yeah.
Oh,
Emily, not Emily. Yeah.
I think he means Emily.
I know who Emily are.
So, we beat them 2-1. But it
weren't easy.
It was 1-1 for a long time.
It was a terrible game.
And we had the big guns. Rio played, John Hartson.
Oh, my God.
Abu. Lampard, I think, played that day. Frank Lampard. It shot it down. We had the worst thunderstorm or whatever about 5 minutes before kickoff, and it sort of levelled it a bit, if you can call it levelled. But yeah,
I'll tell you what, Glenn. I wouldn't, as long as we win, I'd be happy with extra time.
Yeah,
I think it'd be a laugh. You know,
laugh.
It'll be a laugh.
When you watch
him in the snow. That was little. What's his name? Who scored that?
Porfirio.
Yeah. Porfirio. That's him.
Drew that lost the replay.
Yeah.
9,000 fans are going
over extra time. Yes, we'll do. But if you could pick the outcome, against Kidderminster, rather than turning up and roll, this is my personal choice. Rather than turning up and rolling them over 5-0, I wouldn't deny Kidderminster a hard-fought. A hard-fought 2-1 West Ham win after extra time or on penalties or something like that, just to give them something nice,
You're thinking about the romance of the cup.
Exactly.
I'd give them romance of the cup. I'd give them 5-1. Let them have one, right? Let's fucking smash them off the fucking bar.
You're a lot harsher than me, Nigel. You're a lot
harsher. Oh, dear. Think of them travelling fans still.
Well,
we're winning 5-0 tomorrow.
There you go.
Too many kiddies. Well, they're not kiddies though. They're not kiddies. These are seasoned internationals we're playing. We're not playing kiddies. I think there were no kiddies we put in that lineup here, right? I mean, literally no kiddies.
Who's playing with kiddies?
I think he was saying something Claire said. I think he's answering.
Yeah. So not too many kiddies against the kiddies. So we're not playing any kiddies against the kiddies.
Well, should we give our predictions?
Let's do it.
Hang on, still showing off again. Oh, I've got a ticket. Oh, I'll be there. Oh.
Good man.
Put that in the chat 17 times, yes.
Well,
go on, Nigel. What's your prediction, Nigel?
4-0 West Ham.
Right, John?
4-1. I think they'll get a goal. I'd like them to get a goal, so maybe they won't, but 4-1.
I'm going to go 3-0 West Ham. Nick?
4-0.
A lot of fours.
West Ham. 4-0 West Ham.
Yeah. But I think, look, that team should be enough to turn them over. So what we got left, Nick? Is that it?
That's it. That's all done. So over to you.
Excellent. So take the team preview off. We're nearly there, aren't we?
Yeah.
Right. Thank you all for joining us. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Is that it? We've still got half hour, haven't we?
It is. We ain't making 3 hours. Yeah. So, thanks to everyone who contributed to the chat. Great comments tonight. I must admit, it's taken the chat off in different directions. It's been brilliant. Thanks, Nigel, for joining us. Really appreciate it. And check out Nigel's website, 6foot2.co.uk. Thank you to John and Nick. And if you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon. We'll be back on Sunday with our hangover show, reviewing the Kidderminster win and previewing the Watford game. And we'll be back as usual next Friday evening at 9 for the Claret and Booze Up. But that's us done. We're done.
See that, people.
Thank you for joining us. See you soon, and come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.